Not even 3 seconds.
So that also leaves out Johnny Kilroy too. So he's out. I don't know if you but Johnny Kilroy wasn't in the movie. That was in a commercial.
Oh, so it can be. I'm confused, but I'll just watch. I'll just roll with it.
Okay, tell me what is so confusing.
So it's basketball related, but it's not a player.
No. Okay. So we're drafting. We're drafting players.
Yes, we are.
From movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anyone's going to pick this person. So I'm going to use them as an example. So you could pick Elmer Fudd from Space Jam. Okay. Mm-hmm. You could pick Air Bud. That's okay. But you cannot pick Michael Jordan in Space Jam because he played himself. So it has to be. It doesn't matter who played as anybody playing a character that played basketball. Right. And basically it's that player, how they played in the movie. So like if Charles Barkley played Tom Smith, it would be how Tom Smith played, not how Charles Barkley played. Mm-hmm. Make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Okay.
I don't know if I know enough, so maybe I'll just watch it.
Wow. Okay. I gotta research before the show, Hailey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, today's been busy. But all right, you guys, what's up, chat? How y'all doing? We're going to jump into a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about injuries. We're going to do a little draft that I'm just now catching up on. And we're going to talk about the Lakers as well. I'm sure we all want to get into that. So
yes,
before we get into that, though, actually, how are you guys doing? How was your week?
What up, H Boogie? I was Tone's got an announcement to make here. He's itching right now, H. He can't handle it. He's itching right now, right? So
okay.
The reason why I'm laughing is because I know H and how easily she gets cringed and how her face can go from this to
yeah.
And it's so funny, right? It's so
now funny. I'm nervous. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It's so funny, right?
I'm gonna wait until there's 100 people, minimum 100 people watching. We're at 84. We normally get into the hundreds, hopefully thousands if they're smart, if they want to really get more fluent and stuff. But like I even brought this is like my champagne.
Oh, we're celebrating.
We're celebrating my announcement. So
okay, this is big time, definitely.
How you running, H Boogie?
Hey, I'm good. I mean, I was better before I watched my team get demolished by a jobless Grizzlies. I mean, it's not over yet.
Did I see it correctly? Was it like 48-28 in the first quarter?
Yeah, and then they got back 20. In it.
Got back in it, and then just the energy is so. I have no words for this game. Oh man.
We're at 99, just so you know. So let's do a super chat.
Let's do it. AP, thank you for your super chat. Love your guys' show. Shout out to Chill. You're a big inspo to starting my own podcast with my guys. All love. That's dope.
Word, no
Good
doubt.
For you.
That's how we got in it.
Absolutely.
Get Draymond Green.
We dropped. We went to 91.
Get Draymond.
What the heck?
Fluent. That's okay.
I can't make the announcement. So just you can go on. I know you got topics, so let's jump into the topics.
I do. Just real quick, I want to read this real quick and say we want to shout out all our members as usual. You guys are honestly the best, and we appreciate your support on this channel and on all the other shows. And of course, we want to shout out King J. He's the only GOAT member that we have right now. So shout out to you, King J. And if a bunch of you guys want to, jump on that, I know a lot of you are members already, but if you want to become a GOAT member, don't leave King J hanging by himself. Go jump on that. You can check our the bio for all the instructions there. But yeah, shout out to y'all. We couldn't do this without you, and we appreciate you, especially joining in every Thursday.
Not only can we not do it without you, we only do it for you.
Yes, because of you. Ain't no reason why we do it. There's no other reason why we do it.
I can hear myself talk anytime.
That's true.
We do it for you, and only you.
You and only you.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start out since only 99 of you. Only 9 of you. Oh, we're over. All right. I was worried there for a sec.
We're over. So I feel like the super chat from Reggie Reg is gonna kick off the show, but As you know, we've had this conversation many times. You know how I feel about conspiracies. You know how I told you on Sports Fluent, I used to do conspiracies. I had a show with Hugh Jackson doing Coach and AK. I had bankers on, musicians, authors, everything. And the one that really like struck a chord with me was Flat Earth Dave. Flat Earth Dave has millions of followers across the world. He has an app, Flat Earth, that shows you all the reasons why the earth is flat, and it puts you in contact with other flat earthers. So next week, right here on Fluent and Chill, from 9:30 to 10, not 9 to 9:30, that's basketball. Not 10 to 11:30, that's basketball. From 9:30 till 10, Flat Earth Dave will be joining us right here on Fluent and Chill to convince us. And he asked for you guys by name because he and I already had a conversation. And he goes, I want everybody on the panel. I want them all here to convince them. And I said, bring it. Because I asked him a question. I said, hey, when you were on my show a few months back or a year back, whenever it was, I forgot to ask you this one question. And he goes, what is it? I can see the sun. Yeah, you can see this. I can see the moon, right? I can see both of those are round. I can see that they're round. Are we just the only little pancake and everything else is round? The man. Oh, he said, well, you bring on that co-host of yours that, wasn't there the first time and your new one. And I'll tell you why, because we got new evidence.
Here we go. We got new evidence. So
hey,
I was like, new evidence.
I'm also open to expand my mind. As long as I gotta ask him about Pluto though. We gotta get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, the dwarf.
That's why I'm showing up.
Why? Hey, we gotta discuss Pluto. H. We have
why
to get on
does
that.
Pluto bother you so much? Oh, just so you know, Reggie Reg, I'll put this out there for real quick because Reggie Reg, invite Flat Earth Kyrie.
Yeah.
I have invited Kyrie.
Okay.
I reached out to his I believe he has a clothing brand. I think it's called K&I. I reached out to them and said we will give them a free plugs for the whole show if he comes on. And so I reached out to someone who I know who knows him through someone else, and so he's been invited on. I think he's trying to distance himself from the flat earth thing though, so I don't know if he'll come, but we've put out 3 different invites.
Speaking of Kyrie, did you guys see that that thing that came out today, the clip of him? You didn't see it?
I saw
No.
I liked it. I
Tell me.
See, the thing about TikTok that I don't really like TikTok, but I think it's a cool way to like show who you are. Like you get to just talk to people. So a lot of these athletes, have PR teams or they come out and have to look so perfect or like you said, robotic. But if they show up at TikTok, so we can know them. But yeah, that was pretty sad. I don't know. But yeah, you might be right, Fluent.
Can you tell me?
Yeah. So essentially, it was like he had like. I don't know where it was. It looked like a park, like basketball court. Kyrie. He was just chilling. He had like a little sage thing that he was like blowing around, and I guess for bad energy. And he was just calling out how I think some fans had been talking to him at the game, talking trash. And then basically he was like, you guys think you know me off 3 hours of my life, and you come out with all these opinions. And then he kind of shared about like he didn't have his mom. Growing up for like his first car and all the firsts in his life being on the court and making the NBA. He just opened up. It was a lot of personal stuff, but you could tell he was kind of agitated or maybe more passionate about what he was sharing. Just like, you don't know me, so don't pretend to know me, that type of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. Kyrie Irving is trying to dispel the misconceptions about him, even though the downside to that is what you see. This is all we have to go off of because, he doesn't really tell us much about himself. So all we doing is going off what we see, and perception is reality. And speaking of seeing something, here they come, H Boogie.
I know.
Here they come. That's all I gotta say.
Third quarter dubs are back, baby.
Here they come.
Of course, they had to put up the GP2 Dylan Brooks clip. Did you see Draymond and Dylan Brooks like smashing faces?
I thought they were gonna kiss. Whoa.
I love
what are you guys doing?
Oh man,
if you ask me.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
So where are we starting?
Well, I was going to say, let's start off with just kind of talking about all the injuries that happened yesterday. Another one today. And
hold on. Ow! Oh,
watch out, Tone.
Careful.
Right, man.
I'm gonna miss the whole game. I slipped on some water.
Watch out, yo.
Okay.
Your elbow up.
Let me tell you something. Y'all laughed when I said KD wasn't going to play to superstar status. Yes, I'm adjusting.
I was thinking about you. I was.
And what did I say? I said I didn't believe he would play at a superstar caliber. When I got out of my crazy and really, said what I really meant, I said, I'm not kidding. I'm not up for the show. I'm here. But anyways, I said that he's not going to play to that same superstar caliber level because I thought injuries and age would catch up to him. He proved that part wrong. He definitely, when healthy, played probably better than what he had been playing in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone forgets the second part where I said, and part of that is, can he play a whole season? Like when I'm talking about like 65 games or more.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to play 65 games. He's like, is he going to play any more games this season?
I don't think so.
Not the regular season.
He's gonna be reevaluated in 2 to 3 weeks. He's not getting back on the floor. He's getting reevaluated in 2 to 3 weeks. Also, Tone, just so you know, since he left Golden State, of a possible 328 games, he has played in 132.
Wow.
That averages out to 30. That averages out to 33 games a season. I don't know how your math works, Tone, but just so you know, that's only 4 more games more than Zion.
He's played since.
That's it.
That's a crazy stat.
Since leaving Golden State, I'll give the numbers, right? So the first season, Brooklyn, 0. We know that. Then it was 33, 55, 42. Now, the 42. And then 39 so far. He played with Brooklyn and 3 with Phoenix. So another 42 so far. So
that's crazy.
Crazy. But what did I say? I said, if you're a superstar, for me, you got to play 65 plus games. So technically,
you weren't wrong, is what you're trying to say. Technically, you weren't wrong.
And you know what's crazy? When he is on the court,
everybody fell in love with the headline. I still get people saying, "You're the guy that said KD's not a superstar," and I said, I said there was additional pieces that went along with that.
I thought H was going to pop I swear.
Yeah, that was one of our best shows.
That vein was popping right here.
I thought H was going to blow a gasket.
I'm going to save it for another day. But I do have an argument, but I won't do it right now. I won't do it. We got a lot to talk about.
Does it have to do with Steph or KD?
Oh, no. KD not being a superstar.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. I was thinking about that today when that news broke last night, and then you were exactly right. It wasn't you saying like when he's on the court playing, he's not superstar level. It's you can't qualify even when you're not playing.
I'll be fair. I said I thought his play would dip.
Yeah.
So I was wrong there. But the second part, like I said, where I said I don't know that he's going to play 60 plus games.
Right.
And again, what did I say? I hate to admit it because I want to see everybody play. I want to see Zion play 82 games healthy.
Right. Of course.
I want to see LeBron play 82 games healthy. KD, like these guys are the best talent that the NBA has to offer. And the fact that we can't keep them on the court for more than 50 games, I think that's robbing us of seeing some great basketball. Right. So like, as all jokes aside, because we make a lot of jokes and I say, Carmelo's a bum. Hopefully people know I'm joking when I say that. But it's like, but at the end of the day, I do want to see the best players play. All the time I get, you're a hater. I'm not a hater. I want to see them play. I do. I do.
I
don't think they will. That's me being hating.
You gotta be realistic. I gotta be realistic.
Yeah. I asked the question last year at the same time. I asked the question because KD was out of the lineup, and I asked the question: are we seeing the beginning of the end of KD? And I got roasted for that. Yo, he's only 33 years old and he's averaging 30 a game. And I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. I didn't say KD was over. What I'm asking is, KD is approaching his mid-30s, and these injuries are starting to mount up. And the fact that they're starting to mount up, these guys start slowing down. Now, they've been around for so long that we have a tendency to forget that these dudes aren't going to play forever. And because that happens, we don't want to see them go. So when the idea that this player might be slowing down, he might be in the beginning stages of him slowing down, of course, the fear and the fan comes out, no, he's still good. And it doesn't help that KD is averaging 29, 30 a game. So the skill set is still there, H. That's not the question. KD's game is not like what Jordan's game was, what Bryant's game was, what James's game was, where it's predicated on athleticism and flight. That's not KD's game. KD's game is more precision, getting to spots, raising up, and getting over the top of guys. But we have to take under consideration, this is year 16 that we're in. This isn't year 4, year 5. We're in year 16 with KD. And in the process of us being in year 16, like I said, Tone, the last 4 years, he's only played an average of 33 games. That's only 4 more games than Zion per season. And he's going to be 35 in September. So how much longer do you think KD is going to last? Not even at this level. How much longer do you think he's going to hold up? Because KD still got the goods. The question is his body going to fail him sooner than later?
You know what's crazy is what the Suns gave up. Like the Suns took a huge risk trading away, Mikhail, Cam, Jay, all these dudes. Now they're left with nothing really, kind of a shell of a team.
It looked good last night, though.
It looked good, but but then that's going to put more on Devin. That's going to put more on Chris, and then maybe Chris will get injured. Maybe if they lose one of those roles.
There's no maybe about that.
It's going to happen.
That's going to happen.
Like they need KD when you traded all this away.
You know what's going to happen. KD's hurt. Chris Paul's going to get hurt. And they're knocked out in the first round.
That's going to be
forget it. Don't ever bring up KD's legacy ever.
But it's sad because
or Chris Paul's
it's not the way I want to see them. Like I want the beat them fair and square, not like this.
Well, here's the thing, H. The question that I'm asking is were we overestimating these guys? What I mean when I say that, H, is to get KD on the crew now. So we're looking at the last 20 games of the season. We expect this dude to step into the lineup, 20 games left into the season, plus the playoffs. And even though KD is, Tony and I already had this conversation, even though KD is probably the best plug-in player in the league, no doubt about that, we expect him to just jump into this lineup. This thing is going to work, and these dudes are just going to march to the championship. We're not considering anything else. We're not considering health. And by the way, I think Mikal Bridges is averaging something close to 30 and 7 since he's been in Brooklyn. I just want to put that out there.
Popping off.
Yeah. I got to put the super chat out there because it's $2.79, which I think is you want to get my attention, put a weird number on because it's a sale. I always take advantage of a sale. You think KD's extracurricular activities is breaking down his body?
Well, KD made it clear. KD made it clear that he does blow trees. Yes, he does.
Yeah, but there's benefits.
Yes, he does.
Benefits and well, that's a whole nother topic. We'll ask.
We're going to talk about. Let's talk about that. Actually, you want to talk about another old man so that I can tell you I was right again, or do you want to talk about stick in the realm of using substances to help you?
Old man.
Yeah,
old man.
Yeah, let's discuss another old man.
Here's another old man. Remember when I told you? Remember when I told you I don't care what you say? Do you remember this or no? Remember I said I don't care what you say. This man is not retired. Do you remember that?
Actually, yes, you did say that. Yes, you did.
Remember I said so. Yeah. Brady may go to Miami. I think that's in play. I do. I think the possibility of him coming out of retirement is. I know you can't see the rest, so I'll read it to you. What it says after that is definitely 100%. 100%. In play.
What we doing, H?
Why are we going back down this rabbit hole?
What are we doing?
I'm just doing it.
Why are we here again?
He literally just. Did you see the baby kitten? The kitten tweet he put out.
Who cares about kittens?
Tom Brady. He's like,
who has time to play? Pillowcase and slammed against the wall. No, we don't care about kittens.
Tone, he's going to be 46 on opening night, right?
Yeah.
46.
No.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that's not much younger than me. That's in my age bracket. So we clear. I just want to make sure we
skip Fluent. Like, let it go.
I just want. Come on, Tom. What are we talking about here?
This isn't me. I didn't put that out there. I just told you I don't believe this man is done. And I told you that I don't believe Miami's done with him because they paid a fine and lost draft picks because they talked to him last offseason. So if there's anything they could do in their power to get even 1 year out of him, because the one thing we know about Brady is he'll play the whole season. We don't know that about Tua. We don't. So they're in a position where they're like, we can win right now.
With a 46-year-old quarterback? Is that what you're trying to sell me, Tone? I can't handle this.
Do you want 46-year-old Hold on. Do you want 46-year-old Brady with Tyreek Hill, Waddle, and company, or Tua playing half the season. Playing half the season.
I don't know if he's going to play half the season. I don't know if he's going to play half the season. I don't know that. I don't know if Brady's going to play the whole season.
Yeah,
I don't know that.
Well,
I don't know that.
But
I don't know if Brady's going to play the whole season.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God,
I'm just saying. I told you so. That's all.
Add that to the fact, Tone, that we have. I don't know if you're aware of this, and I know you know this, Tone. I don't even know why I said that, but I'm not mistaken. Does he not have a $300 million contract on the table with Fox?
He does.
After he hangs up his cleats.
But it's when
$300 million.
But it's waiting for him.
It's whenever he wants to do it.
What's more important?
It's not like listen. You know, I love me some Jay Cutler. Everybody knows that. It's not like Jay Cutler that had a deal to go into the broadcast booth and instead went and played for Miami, and then there was no broadcast and he had to go retire to his farm in Nashville. That deal is sitting, waiting for him. He is building a media empire at the same time. He's already doing the podcast and the show. And so he's already doing that. He's already building he's good. He's good. I don't know the settlement from this, divorce yet either, but she's probably going to be paying him alimony. Like, he's good. He's good.
She might have to, H. She does make more bread than him. He might have to hold something. Hey, listen, honey, I know this thing didn't work out between us, but I need to hold like 50 stacks a month. I do. I need to hold like 50 stacks a month, just off the strength that, I got a lifestyle change. My woman's not around no more. There were certain things I was accustomed to.
I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
Now you ain't around no more. You was making more money than me. I need to hold 100 stacks a month. I just need to do that. I'm just saying.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it should work both ways, honestly. But so okay, going back to other injuries, NBA injuries, we saw within the same hour, KD, Luka both went down. Obviously, Luka's doesn't look as bad. Then we saw BI, tweak something. I don't know how bad it really is. Then today we see JK go down with almost a similar injury as KD. Were there any others in the last couple of days?
Yeah, how about Kuminga?
Yeah, today.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. What I tell you about those tall, skinny kids?
Yeah, you're not kidding me. That's why I'm not sold on Victor Wembanyama. I just don't. Yeah, I don't.
But I'm trying to make sense of KD's been in the league for as long as he's been in the league. I've never seen this dude get hurt in warm-ups. Meanwhile,
have you seen anyone get hurt in a warm-up like that?
Yes, Greg Oden. I saw him get hurt in a warm-up.
I saw him got hurt with a brisk breeze. That doesn't count.
Sam Bowie got hurt in warm-ups. They had to take him off on a stretcher. So these guys that are
blast, dude, they don't count.
These guys getting hurt. Well, this is what I'm talking about, Tom. When I talk about KD, this is year 4 that we're in now, where in the last 4 years, this is what it's been looking like with him. And the logic that his body is starting to fail him. That's what it looks like to me. Once again, Tone, the goods are still there. The skill set is still there. He's still got the ball handling, his ability to score. All of that is still there. Can he do it on a consistent basis like he did 5 years ago? I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah, I think BI is that's a tough one again, because it's not just like he gets hurt, but again, not knowing the extent of the injury is that when BI gets hurt, like he had remember it was a toe contusion. I know I'm going to get blasted here in a minute from I'm going to get from our Aramis, but like a toe, that's a bruise on your toe, and he was out for months. So it's not even like it's a bad injury that keeps him out. It's like little stuff like, like I got a hangnail, need a month off. I got an ingrown, need a month off.
Yeah, they're very, very, and then they take like weeks to bring him back from a very minor injury. But maybe the season without Zion, they're like, you know what, we're just gonna just ride it out, get some chemistry going on. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're trying, but
here, Tone, right here, Tone. How many more years KD got at this level?
How many
more years does he have at this level?
How many more years does he have on his current contract?
At 3 more years on his current contract.
3? Oh, I don't think he makes it to the end of that.
Wow.
At this level.
That's what I'm talking about. At this level, not as a player, I'm just talking about at the current level that he's playing. How many more years did he have? How many more years does he have at this level?
Oh, listen, you're asking the wrong guy. I thought he was done. I thought he'd be starting to kick down this year. So I think if he goes 2 more, I think that would be a win. Because what is he right now? 35, 36? How old is he?
He'll be 30. He'll be 35 in September.
In the history of the NBA, how many players past the age of 36 have played to their even close to their peak level? I can think of Malone, LeBron, and Malone only did it for like a year or two. Yeah. And what was MJ that last year that he was
only 35. He was 35 in NBA.
Yeah. So older than 36, it's Malone and
James.
That's it. And those two guys are like, although they're from different parts of the world, those two guys, like you would say, like for us old folks, country strong. They look like they were country, like they were built to be, to keep going. Other than that,
Jabal was 36 in 83, and he was still first team All NBA, but he wasn't what he was at his peak. At his peak, he was 30. At his peak, he was 30 and 15.
That's what I'm saying. Over 36, who wasn't on this side of the hill?
Right. And Jabal was on the other side of it. Yeah, Jabal was definitely on the other side of it. So,
and especially
I need to get some moderators, please. Moderators.
I think he's got 2 years left at this level. Maybe. I'm asking a lot.
That's what I think as well too.
I'm asking a lot.
Which is still impressive because that puts him into that 36, 37. Like that would be, he would then join that list.
I'm only going as far as 2 years. That's it. I'm not going past that. And the reason why I'm not going past that, because I don't think he's gonna hold up that long. I don't think he's gonna hold up that long. We got stuff like rolling your ankle, a grade 2 sprain, rolling your ankle, and he out for a month in the warm-up line.
Sorry. I saw this and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. Yeah. Because the decline usually starts here. No, the decline is not. You've fallen off at 36.
That's when it's stamped. That's when it's over.
The decline typically starts at like your prime is like what 28 to 31. Typically, you need a few years to get up. Like if you think about it, depending on when you come into the league, but use the average. So the average player that comes into the league is like 21. Right? By year 5, we know who they are. That takes you to 26. Right? So that 26, 27. And then your prime years, like when you finally get it, right? 28, 29, 30, 31. And then by 32, all those years start to look, it's not to say you're bad, but you start to see it starts to drift off. And then by 35, 36, you're pretty much done.
Right.
95% of players. Don't use the 5% because they're the exception. Right. Use the 95%. They're done by their mid-30s. Yeah. So, like everyone wants to use, Brady and LeBron, they're the exceptions, dude. Like they're Nolan Ryan in baseball. Those guys aren't the norm. We're talking about the norm is you're done by that 31.
Bird was retired at 35. He was over. Bird was already retired at 30. He could barely walk at 35 years old, right? So when you get around 33, right? When you get around age 33, I think that was around 2016. So around 2013. That was around the time when Bryant was starting to slow down. He still had the goods, but that's when he started slowing down around 32, 33. He was still awesome, but like maybe 2 years after they won it in 2010, that's when he started to slow down. Olajuwon, same guy, same kind of dude. He started to slow down around age 33, 34. He was still awesome.
And again, let's be clear, we're not saying they're trash. It's just you start to see that
it's their body. It's natural.
You see him going the other way.
Yeah.
But
for everyone, because everyone's going to throw an example, but this person and that person. Yeah, there's another 450 people in the NBA that didn't happen for. Right. You're picking the one.
And you go check those guys' production. Go check those guys' production around age 33, 34, and you'll see the difference between 34 going this way as opposed to when they were 28 to 31. It's not the same thing. They were clearly going the other way. Clearly.
So I guess all these things are happening, right? And my wonder, like the West is already so insanely like wide open, But now with all these consistent injuries on the best teams, and Ja, obviously Ja's missing. We'll get into that in a second. So we don't know what this deal is there. Now Luka obviously is a major part of the Mavs. The Suns, Steph's been injured. So what does this mean for the West? Does this kind of give the Nuggets like a golden roadway to the finals, in your opinion, Jay?
I also think it's good for the Warriors too, because I think you're gonna get Wiggins back. Excuse me. I think you're gonna get Wiggins back at some point, right? So
Hopefully.
with this crew, you just got Steph back. You're gonna get Wiggins back soon. You're gonna get Gary Payton Jr. back soon. So you guys could get healthy at the right time. I said this before, and I still stand on the logic with Dre, Steph, and Clay in the lineup since 2014. The Golden State Warriors been in the NBA Finals. So until I see somebody bounce them with those three guys in the lineup in a 7-game series, they the team to beat in the Western Conference. And I think that Denver is the only team that has a legit shot. Everybody else, I'm not sure if the Clippers are going to hold up. And I'm contrary to what people are saying about Russ, I think Russ is perfect for what they're doing in Los Angeles. He still just got to get acclimated. He looks like Russ used to look, right? Phoenix, they're already dealing with the issues that they're dealing with KD now being out of the lineup. So they basically back to square one with those guys, right? So now we go from 5 to 12. And I can't believe that I'm going to say this.
I know it's coming.
I'm going to say this.
Say it.
Say it. Just let it out.
The Lakers don't look like they look like they're going to be trouble. They look like the Lakers look like they're going to be trouble, Tone. And I'm looking at this crew. They got the number over the last 10 games. They got the number 1 rated defense in the league. I said this before the season started. Tone roasted me for it, and I'm still standing on the logic. Anthony Davis is going to be an all-NBA performer, and he's going to make the all-league defensive team. I'm standing on that.
Wait. For 75% of the season, you said the Lakers are the worst team in the NBA. Do you?
And they garbage. And I still Tone. And 75% of the season, they were garbage. They were absolute trash. And
right now, you stand on that right now.
Now they look at they got a revamped roster. Vanderbilt looks perfect for what they're doing. He's a D&3 guy who. He was doing this in Minnesota. Not only was he doing this in Minnesota, he was really productive, but we didn't really see a lot of them in Minnesota. So now all of a sudden he's in Los Angeles and everybody's eyes are popping out like, who is this guy? Well, he was doing this when he was in Minnesota.
Same dude he was, but now you're seeing him do it. Yeah.
Now you're just seeing him a little bit more. Beasley's one of the best long ball shooters in the league. I think he leads the league in threes. If he not 3-point attempts, I think he leads the league in threes. Anthony Davis, as he's been playing, I think over the last 2 games, Tone, I think he averaging 39 and 8. But I told you this before. This team is going to go as far as Anthony Davis's health can take you. That's it.
So let me ask you this. 1, you clearly still believe.
To be the man, you got to beat the man.
You're still on those Warriors. So
this is where the belt. This is where the belt is. You want the belt. This is where the belt is.
Let's go. But I got to ask you, Fluent. They lose every road game for the most part. Tell me.
Garbage,
can you tell me why? What's the problem? I don't know.
The Warriors lose every road game?
Every road game.
Because they don't have because if you listen to conspiracy theorists, they don't have those magnets in the rims on the road.
Oh my God. Never stopped them before.
Garbage on the road. Trash.
That's never bothered them before. So I don't know what the answer is. I've thought of everything. I just don't know.
Well, they're in Memphis right now. They're only 12 back. They have a shot here.
They're terrible.
12.
This is disgusting. Are you kidding me? And somehow we let OKC have the highest shooting efficiency against us. Now we're letting Dylan Brooks lead Memphis Grizzlies. Are you kidding me?
Listen, never underestimate.
I can't handle this. No.
Can you handle it, H? Yes or no?
No, this is. I'm just so disappointed.
No.
I'm so disappointed. But all right, Fluent. Talk to us about your Lakers. Where are we going to see them by the end of the season? Are they going to be a play-in, play-off, and what can we expect from them?
You can expect the Los Angeles Lakers to be in the NBA final and cementing LeBron James' status as the GOAT. I've told you this before. If LeBron James takes this Laker team to the NBA final and they win and he's the MVP, I will, on national TV, come out and say he is the all-time GOAT of the NBA.
Wow. What is this?
Would you say it, Tone? Would you say it, Tone?
I'll come up. I will.
Will you say it, Tone? Yes or no?
Right off the wall. I will take this and I would put GOAT James on it.
Wow. Wait, Fluent, this is ring 5. He's an all-time scoring leader. He's many things. But why does this push him over the edge for you over Jordan?
Here's why it would push him over the edge. Number 1 scorer all time. Top 5 in points per game. One of the greatest scorers of all time. If he does this, he'll probably end up, I believe, 3rd all time in assists. Top 10, I believe, already in blocks. 11 times going to the NBA Finals. That I believe ties him with Bill Russell as the most ever. 5 wins and 5 Finals MVPs, which ties him with Jordan. He would then have the accolades, the statistics. He already has the longevity and the skill and the talent, right? Like he already has some of it. So,
wow.
So
wow,
it's, listen, I've already said it comes to, there's going to come a point if he stays great for a number of years, it doesn't like, I'm a big proponent of when I break down their game, I believe Jordan is better, right? I've said that a million times. I think Jordan is better. I believe, when you look at prime, just think about this really fast. And this is not to become a debate, but just think about prime. So Jordan played 15 years.
Yeah.
His rookie season's not prime. The second season where he was hurt is not prime. The season that he came back from baseball where he played 17 games is not prime. And then 2 years in Washington was not his prime. So he had 10 prime years. In those 10 prime years, he has 10 scoring titles, 9 all-defensive first teams, 6 NBA championships, 6 finals MVPs, and 5 MVPs, and a Defensive Player of the Year award. Like he's got so much packed in to those 10 prime years. So no one's ever, I think, going to do that in that short period of time. So what LeBron or anybody else, the only way you can beat him is to do close to as much for longer. And he's this close from doing that. So that would push it over the edge for me. Because people always ask me, what would he have to do? And I'm like, there's nothing. That was 3 years ago. There's 2 years ago, there's nothing. A year ago, there was nothing. And I'm like, I almost cussed. Sorry, I almost pulled the Fred VanVleet. $30,000. We'll talk about that in a second.
We will talk about that.
Yeah.
He wasn't wrong for that.
And I keep saying it. Well, there's nothing. But if he keeps averaging 30 a game and 7 and 7 and then add some rings and stuff to it, it's just okay. Nick Wright, you win finally. Don't let
that guy win.
Take it, bro.
Wait, so
now here's the thing. They could win a title, and AD's the finals MVP. That changes things. He could come back. Hold on. He could come back, and they go on a losing streak after winning and getting back into the playoffs without him. That would change things. So that's how close it is. I always tell people, regardless of where you are, and me and Chill have had this conversation multiple times, but we talked about, and I said, when you look at stats, advanced stats, all that stuff, anyone who says it's a wash is lying. Like I'll use advanced stats are the best example. And I've said this to Chill because I read out the numbers. When you look at the advanced stats, it's literally, now they're in favor of Jordan, but it's like, if Jordan is 23.09, LeBron is 23.04. Like it's fractions of a point. So it's so close that yes, one thing could tip the scales, which is insane, which just, again, talks to how great both of these guys are. And that's actually what drives me nuts, is they're both like head and shoulders. I'm sorry. It's like Patrick Mahomes today in football. It's like he's the best quarterback, and then there's a gap, and then everybody else. Yeah. I feel like those two are 1-2, and I don't care 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because there's a gap between those two and everybody else.
I don't think LeBron's ever going to get another ring, and I do think Steph's going to get another ring. So Steph will have 5. LeBron's going to end
Laker fan, right? I wanted LeBron James to come to LA and win 5 in a row.
Nope.
Because the
Lakers, not in the West.
You know who Tone is, right?
The Lakers supersede everything else. Right, I tell everybody, I defend Jordan because I believe he's the best player of all time, and there's so many bad narratives about him, especially now it's coming out more and more and more and more and more. But that's people like you do so much. I said, I don't get any, no one says lies about anyone as much as I hear about lies about how bad Jordan was or lies about how good LeBron was. That's the number 1 and 2 things I get. But to my point, I hated Jordan. I'm a Lakers fan. I saw this guy come into Chicago, and I'm like, uh-oh, he's going to be trouble. And luckily, we didn't have to face him until 91. And he smoked our asses. I don't like him, but I have to respect his game. I actually like, it's really funny. I get called a LeBron hater. I actually like LeBron James more. LeBron James, by all intents and purposes, is a good dude. Never gets into trouble. You don't see him out womanizing, clubbing, drinking, no gun in his hand. Like, he's a good dude, does charity, speaks out about social issues. These are all things I actually really like about LeBron. You've heard me. You know how I feel about social issues. So when people say, you just hate him because he's a... No, those are the things I like about him. But I'm not going to lie about how I feel about their games.
Yeah, that doesn't... Yeah.
So I actually like him more. But, right? So, again... I wanted him to win 5. I would have loved the Lakers to take a 4-5 title lead on the Celtics. I hate the damn Celtics. I'll admit I hate the damn Celtics. Whew, I'm going to have a heart attack. All right.
Let it out. Let it out.
Just real quick. I just want my man Low Down was in the comments. And,
what up, Low?
Yeah, my man Low Down was in the comments, and he was talking about I'm lying about Russ. Well, just so you know, in the 7 games,
you tell Low if he wants to come at you, he can send a super chat.
Yeah, so just so you know, Lo, since Russ been in Los Angeles playing with the Clippers in the 7 games, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but I think he's 14-8 on 50% shooting from the floor. I just want to put that out there. So he's not garbage. He's actually been really good.
He's not their big. He's not their issue.
He's actually been really good. Just want to put that out there. So
yeah. Okay, let's talk about Ja a little bit. Or should we do some super chats? I just want to get it out the way.
Okay, let's talk about Ja. Let's make it quick though, because I feel like we've jawed enough about.
Yeah, well, we don't have to.
That's such a dad joke. We've jawed enough about Ja.
Good one.
Why don't you start?
Truly, I before all this came out, or before the news yesterday came out, where they said, we're not going to charge, the Colorado Police Department's not going to charge, blah, blah, blah. And I knew that was coming because it's a business. Now we're seeing all these injuries. They're going to bring back Ja after that 4-game suspension, I believe. I don't think they're going to use him as the person to use as the punishment to go all on him. I really believe that they're going to bring him back because at the end of the day, this is a business. They want to make money, and Ja is one of the most entertaining players to watch. If he's not in the playoffs, I think that a lot of people are going to be upset about that. So that's just how I feel. As far as the personal aspect of it, I don't care what you do. Do your thing, but just be smart about it. Don't throw away your career. But I don't know if he intended to do that. I think he's just a kid. He's having a lot of fun, and sometimes you just need to chill down, and sometimes you learn the hard way,
Yeah. So the Colorado police, after an extensive investigation, they had lack of evidence, which means in English, we couldn't get enough people to talk. That's what the problem is. Okay. We couldn't get enough people to talk, which is good.
That's why.
Do yourself a favor. And that's probably what Ja's people told him. That's why you hire lawyers. That's why you have handlers, right? That's why you have people. Listen, do yourself a favor, keep quiet, and let us handle this, which is what they did, right? So in the process of them doing that, there was a lack of evidence. Now, what we can't do, is we can't send them right back out there because, number one, that's a terrible message. Because now what that's doing is that's telling him that, well, shit, I can do whatever I want. And in the process of me doing whatever I want, ain't nothing going to happen because you see what just happened right here. I skated on this. I skated on this. So we can't send him right back out there. It's probably a good idea that he sit for a little while. Now, is he going to sit for the rest of the season? I'm not going to go that far, but I don't think it's wise to bring him right back. So he's already missed. Let's see. He already missed the 2 games plus these 4. It's going to be 6 games that he's going to miss. I wouldn't mind him sitting for 10 games just so he can get his mind, right. And when he comes back, maybe he'll give them a volt of electricity. Maybe he'll give them a jolt of energy that could help this Memphis team. Because even though they win without him, they are a better team with him. I mean, let's be honest about that. You can't have 27 a game, just leave the lineup and you're just replacing that. You're not going to replace 27 a game. We play completely different when this dude is on the floor. He's our best playmaker. He's our best athlete. He's our best one-on-one player. He's our best scorer. And when he's off the floor, that means that the shots that we're getting, they're going to be a little bit different than what we get when he's on the floor. So I do think that he's coming back. Again, what he has to do with this time away which is the most important thing, he's got to reevaluate who he's hanging around.
Yeah.
That circle needs to shrink, because what's going to end up happening is that you're going to find yourself in a situation very similar to this, only worse, and you're not going to be able to get out of it. Ray Lewis in 2001 found himself hanging around some people, and he got himself in trouble. And the first thing Ray Lewis said he did was he had to reevaluate who he was hanging around. Wait a minute, I got to cut some people off, because otherwise I'm going to end up losing everything. And that's what he did.
And let's hope that, right? Because there's still some people today who say it was Ray Lewis that killed that man.
Of course it was, even though it wasn't. I mean, the police department
say it, and someone else took the blame for him, right. And then he found God and really changed his life. Let's be glad that that's not where what happened with Ja, but let's hope that maybe this scares him straight a little bit.
Right.
I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm not saying don't go out and party. You're in your 20s. We all did it. It's okay.
Yes,
but let's be smart about it. Right? Let's not do something that would jeopardize our career, because let's be honest. I've told you this. My second favorite player to watch and pay to watch in the NBA. I love Ja. And it's not worth it. Whatever you're doing isn't worth losing, what 99% of the people, would dream to have, which is to play a game and get paid tens of millions of dollars to do it.
I was very much considering when they come down here at the end of this month, and I was considering getting some tickets just off the strength of Ja, because I wanted to see him live.
Yeah,
I wanted to see what this dude looked like. But I mean, if he's not going to play, I've been to a few Miami Heat games, but I would be going specifically for him, right? No doubt about that. But that's what that is. That's what it is with Ja. So I hope the same thing, Tony. You got guys like Michael Vick. He learned too late. The people that Michael Vick was hanging around, he thought that he could still get it off like that, and it just didn't work. Ja's young enough, and he's still ahead of this thing where he can get himself together and go, all right, I'm hanging around the wrong people, and I gotta shorten this circle. It's important too, Tone, that his father gets involved in this too. He has to, and I think his father has to dial it back. Yes,
I'm
just
wondering.
His father has to get involved.
Yeah, he needs to be his dad and stop being his voice.
Yeah, his friend. Yeah, I think that's really important. But at the end of the day, we hope he comes back. And hopefully, he learns his lesson. But there's so much the media puts out. We don't know the whole story. We don't know what happened. So, hope he comes back soon though, because Ja is fun to watch.
All right, let's H. But we'll segue right into what we need to. But you got to remember too. Superstardom isn't for everybody. It's a lot to deal with, especially at this age, and you're getting it thrown at you. We forget, Ja's not from New York City. Ja's not from Los Angeles. Ja's a country bumpkin from South Carolina.
I was going to ask where. I don't even know where he's from. He's from
Ja's a country bumpkin from South Carolina.
Where in South Carolina?
Oh man, it's a small town in South Carolina.
Okay.
And Ja is a country bumpkin, right? So Ja's not one of these big city guys. So all of a sudden he goes from Murray State, right, which is a mid-major university, to within 3 years he is a superstar in the NBA, and everybody loves him. This might be a little bit too much for a 23-year-old.
Yes,
especially if he got the wrong people around him. Especially if he got the wrong people around him. So we got to definitely get some handlers around this dude and get in front of this, because this could go the other way.
You said South Carolina, and I immediately thought of my trips to Hilton Head Island, one of my favorite places in the world. So before we're going to jump into super chats, and we're going to do the draft. The super chats have a lot of the topics we want to talk about, which is good. So it'll go well. I do want to quickly talk about, because as you know, I kind of I do the Raptors post game report, and so I've been watching even more of the Raptors because I got to write the report after the games. And 2 games ago, I wrote a very scathing report about specifically Scott Foster. You know how I felt about that horrible end of the game against the Denver Nuggets. And
not to cut you off, Tone, keep going, but Van Fleet was right, yo.
Oh yeah.
So hold on.
Wait, what is the context of this, Fluent?
Keep going. I think I know where Tone's going, but I'm listening.
So I wrote a very
scathing. Is that Scotty?
It was the game before. Yeah, Scotty Barnes getting thrown out.
Okay.
Talking to himself.
Yeah.
And Scott Foster has a history of doing some stuff, and I was very much against the refs. And I said, hey, right, I'll call it right down. I'll be honest. The refs shouldn't be the game. They shouldn't decide games.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't be the story. The players should be the story. So then fast forward to this game, and you've got, Fred. And Fred, listen, there was no need for Fred to use that much language. I'm sorry. People are like, why are you so sensitive? I'm like, well, because kids watch basketball. Kids watch press.
It was right after the game, Tone.
I guess that it was right after the game. Hold on.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me finish here. So a call in the third quarter, a technical foul that agreed wasn't called for. He was right. And yes, this Ben Taylor has given him, I think, 3 or 4 out of his 8 technicals that he's had for the season. Absolutely. What Fred said may have been 100% accurate. Not even going to argue with it. Might be 100% accurate. I'll even say, yes, it is 100% accurate. Here's the problem. 1, that foul call or that technical call is not the reason why you went 4 for 12 last night. It's not the reason you went 1 for 11 2 games earlier. It's not the reason you have the 3rd worst field goal shooting percentage in the league this season. It's not why you're one of the 5 worst 3-point shooters in the league this season. That's not, those calls aren't the reason you can't shoot anymore. So I know he said that's not the reason we lost, but that's a lie, because he said that technical foul changed the momentum of the game and everything was different after that. So to then say that's not the reason we lost, well, now you're lying, because you just said it changed the momentum of the game, and that is why you lost. And then he's trying to change his tune at the end and say, well, that's not the reason we lost. You're right. The reason you lost is because you went 4 for 12. The reason you lost is because your team shot 36% from the field. Again, the reason why you lost is you gave up 50% plus to the other team. Again. So if you can't make shots and you can't defend and you're complaining about the refs, that's a cop-out. Period. We suck right now. That's why we're losing. The refs aren't going to give us calls. Why? Well, because we're playing pretty shit. On top of that, referees are a fraternity, just like NBA players, and they are going to stick together. And as the captain and leader of that team, you just put a damn bullseye on every single one of your players and you. Now, does that mean they're going to make calls up? No. Does it mean they're going to call fouls that aren't fouls on him? No. But there's so many 50-50 plays in the NBA that are boom, boom. Well, guess which way they're going to lean now? Because you just called out by name a respected ref who's our brother as a referee. Well, that's fine.
He refs in the playoffs too, by the way.
50, they might not make the playoffs. That's Scott Foster. No, this is Ben Taylor, who he was talking about. So now on those ones that are 50-50, sorry, you're not getting those. And now you're going to get that reputation of the one that complains, the one that comes out, and the one that called him out. But he didn't say the officiating. He said Ben Taylor, personal,
Good for him.
No, absolutely wrong for him.
No.
Because now he's not going to get the calls. What he should have done as a leader, as a captain, as a professional, go to Masai, go to Nick Nurse, and you can file complaints with the NBA to the stuff and do it quietly behind closed doors, just like anything you would do internally with your team. You don't make it public. By making it public, he's going to be viewed. Listen, everyone's giving him high fives right now, but guess what? His team isn't going to love him when they're not getting calls, when they're losing games, because that 50-50 now is going the other way. And that's the reality of it. Again, what he said was right. It was just not the right form or the right way to do it. I will say this, because someone on the NBA said this today, and I heard him in it, and it made me think.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being Fred VanVleet's kid? The way he just was so calm as he cussed and did it all. He was creepy calm. And I didn't realize it. And I went back and watched. I was like,
go upstairs right now before
That's a scary stone. That's
the
worse than getting yelled at.
With me, I'm animated. I'm like this. My kids are laughing. If I was like,
that's how my grandmother was. That's why I did everything that she said on the spot. She had this way of turning her voice down. Go upstairs right now before okay. All right. I heard it. Now, Tone, I will tell you this. The fact that VanVleet was shooting the way he was shooting, that's one thing. But two things can be right. So when he got that tech, Toronto was getting back in the game. So they were in the process of getting back in the game when he got that technical foul. When he got that tech, Now the tide turns. He was already playing bad, right? But now the tide, because again, Scotty Barnes was playing good. Siakam, these guys weren't playing bad, and the Clippers were not Toronto. The Clippers were rolling, but then when he gets that technical foul, now the tide turns. So me playing the way I was playing, that just compounds what was going on when I get that technical foul. So two things can be true. Now, was he right in saying that? Was he right in saying that what Ben Taylor was Ben Taylor wrong? I mean, in some instances, yes, he was right. Was he also right by saying that my play had something to do with it? He could have expanded on that a little bit more, Tone. He couldn't just leave it right there. He could have expanded on that. Now, let me tell you from the referee side, being a former refereeing for 5 years, I had a speech when the game started. I made it clear to the players in the middle of the circle. I said, quote, look around. And they looked around and I said, nobody bought a ticket to come see me. You guys are the show. You're going to involve me, but that's up to you how much you involve me, right? Referees, we absolutely are a fraternity. And we also have a saying, Tone, do not go looking for the jerk because he will identify himself. Don't worry. Don't go looking for him. You don't have to involve yourself in this. He's going to show himself. She's going to show herself. Don't worry. And when these referees, what they do, they have a tendency to involve themselves in the game and get themselves in trouble. Scott Foster being one of those guys. And Scott Foster is actually a good ref, but he does do that. He has a tendency to involve himself in the game, and that gets him in trouble. Now, Van Fleet, again, he could have expanded on how much his play was the reason why they lost. He could have done that instead of just leaving it at, well, that ain't solely the reason why we lost. Well, I could have done more of this. He could have expanded on that, but he didn't.
I just think, and I was actually looking into this last week because I wanted to make a video on one of the refs, but I didn't. But I was looking into, like, you can actually look at specific referee stats, look at how long they've been in the league, look at like all the calls they make, and for what teams. And there are definitely biases because, you know, there are humans. There's definitely
100%.
biases, but it is what it is. It's so frustrating. But my biggest problem is, especially from this season, and it's not just Golden State. Of course, that's the team I watch the most, but I've seen it in many teams. And there are some refs that will call fouls every minute, and it ruins the quality of the game because you're constantly calling fouls, you're giving free throws. It's sick. But the biggest problem with the refs recently that I've seen is like the Jordan Poole one. Did you see the one where who was it? It might have been David Guthrie, or it might have
bounces the ball back to him and he gives him a tech.
No, it wasn't even that. He went like this, and that he got teched for doing that.
Yeah,
Tim Duncan laughed on the bench and got thrown out.
Yeah,
Scotty Barnes, like I said, I will cuss out the refs when they're wrong. Scotty Barnes got thrown out for nothing. Like with one tech, which is typically you have to get two. Like, yeah, they that's why I said I'll blast them for it. And again, there are channels to go through. And someone in the chat said, how do you know Van Fleet didn't? Because I know that he didn't, because I'm obviously in touch with that particular team and I know a little bit more than most. He didn't do it. Yes. He didn't do it. And that's the way to do it. And I get it. In the heat of the moment, we all say things.
Quick side note. Joey Crawford was the guy who threw Tim Duncan out. He was suspended for the rest of the playoffs. Because if you throwing Tim Duncan out, you clearly are the problem. Clearly.
That would never happen now.
Tim Duncan has never been. If you throw in Tim Duncan out of a game, a playoff game,
the quietest guy in the world.
You clearly are the problem. It's not him.
His career is over.
Yes, it's you. He got suspended for the rest of the playoffs. He had to come back and he had to do a whole bunch of sensitivity training and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, no doubt.
All right, we want to do some super chats and a draft,
and
then we'll bring some people on. I promise today we're gonna bring some people on. So
yeah.
All right. So we'll just start right at the top. Reggie Reg.
All right, Reggie Reg. Greetings, Goat Hailey. Thank you. What do you guys think of Shael Sonnen's comments on him and LGB sharing the same EPO dealer? Yeah, we sort of touched on it last week.
Absolutely, man. Tony and I had this conversation where there's smoke. Now, I got a problem with this.
Now we got to keep it quick because I don't want to do. If you go too long, I'm gonna hit you with the horns. All right.
Right. I got a problem with this because what we talking about here is we talking about my integrity. We talking about the validity of my career, and we talking about my credibility. So when you say stuff like that, it's not just going to go away. So James there might have to be some legal action here. It might have to be, Tone, because this is not just going to go away. For you to say that we both have the same drug guy, well, what are you insinuating? Are you insinuating that I'm taking drugs?
He's straight up.
Right. Are you saying that I'm on drugs? And again, Tone, we got to make sure we clear. I'm not on the fence about this. I'm 100% confident. All of these dudes are taking supplements on some level. The question is whatever James is taking, is it illegal?
Does it cross the line? Does it cross the line?
Does it cross the line?
I use James. You remember on that episode of the panel, I used James as an example, and I got so much hate. And I said, listen to everything I'm saying. I'm not saying just James. I'm saying every single athlete pushes the limits to get the ones that really care, right? Yes. Push the limits of everything to get an edge. Now, sometimes they cross it purposely. Sometimes they cross it accidentally. And as you know, I'm writing a very big article with, quotes from George Carl, Derrick Rose. Like I got some big names that have, put quotes into this. And I've done a lot of research on the differences of PEDs. And all I'm suggesting is I think everybody pushed the limits. We need to find out, did they cross the line?
That's the most important thing.
That's the thing. On the other side, let's be clear. I actually kind of tend to agree with Mark Cuban, who says, well, certain ones, like certain things maybe should be allowed. Like if it means healing and making them healthier and safer and all those kinds of things, I'm not opposed to that either. I get it. Modern medicine is phenomenal. We should take advantage of it. But like there's examples of like people going, I don't want to go too long into this because it'll all be in the article, but people with injuries will go to Germany where they'll take your blood out of your knee if you have a knee injury, right? Yep. Spin it with like, this crazy oxygen cocktail, just oxygen,
put it back in you
into your knee, and now that oxygen helps you recover faster.
Right.
By definition,
that's not PED.
That's blood doping. That is EPO, right? That's technically not allowed, but they're doing it in the off season all the time. Right. So is that wrong? I don't know. So just quickly, the 3 types of PEDs, so people get them, when we give examples, right? Because people always just assume, steroids, right? You're pumping in a needle. They think it's, Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco in baseball, pumping a needle in the locker room and, getting, acne all over their back and roid rage and all that stuff. And that's not actually, well, it is true for steroids, but that's not what's being discussed here. So there's 3 types, main ones: steroids, which give you gains, right? Shows you big. It's only short-term effects. It's only good when you're using it. So you've seen a lot of like pro wrestlers, once they get off the juice, right? Drink right back again.
Also.
But it's also very easy to detect because you can detect it from urine.
Right.
There's blood doping, or EPO, which is funny. It's actually mostly for endurance, right? This is what, Lance Armstrong was doing. They take the blood out, juice it with a bunch of oxygen, pump it back in, and it gives you endurance. So that's confusing.
I don't see to be honest with you, I don't see the problem with that. I don't.
That's oxygen, doesn't it? Yeah.
I don't see a problem with that. I really don't.
Natural.
And no, I didn't miss anybody's super chats. We're gonna get to all of them here in a second. And the other one then is HGH, which is a natural manipulation of stuff that's being manufactured in your body already. It helps with recovery, muscle growth, strength, fat loss. You look younger for longer. Your body, it basically reduces the effects of aging. It slows it down, but can only be detected by blood tests, which weren't even asked for in the NBA until 2016.
Right.
So they weren't even doing blood tests. So they have these tests, but they're not really doing blood tests on everybody. And I think that's the question, because let's be honest. If I'm the NBA, I don't want to know. There's been 12 guys in the history of the NBA that got caught. You're telling me only 12 people?
Well, see, that's the thing. So, why don't you want to know? Because
if I'm the NBA, because that's money.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I mean. Because if you have a league, or if you have a corporation that's a farce, you're going to get exposed at some point. We're not going to be able to just keep doing this. Eventually, somebody's going to pull the curtain up on what's going on here. And once they do that, it's lights out. That means all our credibility goes out the window. So if we can get out in front of this, and whoever is cheating, so guys like Roy Topley and Birdman and OJ Mayo and Tariq Evans. So if we can get out in front of this, right? If we could get out in front of this right now and nip it in the bud, then I think that that's something that should be done, as opposed to, we let this guy go on for all of this time doing this, and we knew about it, and we didn't say nothing. You actually worse than him because you're perpetuating it.
So let me ask you, do you don't think baseball knew what players were doing?
Well, that's the difference, Tone. The difference is that if baseball, number one, no, it's not that they didn't get caught. There were no rules in place. So that's why I didn't have a problem.
You don't think they knew? They knew.
I'm sure they knew.
They didn't want to know.
Not only did they know, there was no rules in place. That's why I didn't have a problem with Jose. I had no problem with Jose Canseco when he came out and he told us, like, everybody called him a snitch. He doesn't have any credibility. Jose Canseco told us not only was Mark McGwire on the juice, where do you think he was getting it from? Who do you think he was getting it from? Right here.
Yeah, he's a snitch. Oh, but he's right. Yeah,
right.
All right. So there's a lot more to come on that. Yes.
Honestly, like a percentage-wise, if you had to just throw out a number, give me a percentage of how many you think might be on it.
Players, 50%.
Half of the dudes in the league on the juice.
Half the dudes are pushing the limits of what's legal.
I don't think that's ridiculous to say that. I really don't. The question is who's crossing the line?
Or are they just
That's
hitting
the question.
That I don't know.
I would say 50%.
And what I don't want to do, Tone, is I don't want to take the human factor away from this. And when you bring in things like PEDs and HGH, and you take away the human factor of it, because you are giving yourself an edge that's not human. That's why.
Well, HGH is. It's accelerating stuff that's in your body. The problem is this, though. Just quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on because again, I've done a lot of research. The problem with HGH is because it creates excess of the hormones that are already in your body, right? But if there's something bad in your body, it also does that. So, like if you have cancer, it
accelerates that too.
Exponentially faster in your body. So, like if you're 100% healthy with nothing.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good. But if you have even the slightest bit of something negative, it will make that go faster too. So
we ain't just turning up the volume. We turning up the volume on everything.
Everything, wow. Yeah. So you can't pick and choose and say, okay, I'm just dial this up, dial that down. No, it's like whoop, everything to 100. So
I'm straight.
That's crazy. That's what an interesting. I mean, it's an interesting topic.
I'm one of the more open people to say I got injured, right? In university, I got injured and I was offered steroids. I wish we had better stuff back then, but the people that are doping are always ahead of the testing. But I was offered steroids, say, hey, this is what you can do, build up, recover faster. I'm like, nah, this is I felt very uncomfortable because back then the stigma of, you're shrinking up and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm good. Yeah. So all right, so next one. So trust me, we're gonna talk about it more as this more comes to light, but
okay, Alex, Fluent, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. What do you think happened to the MH370?
I would love to think it was, I watched this show where the plane like goes into this like wormhole and disappears for 3 years. I forget what it was called. I don't know what that show was called. It was fantastic.
Birds don't disappear with people on it. Birds don't just disappear with people on it.
I forget, but I just saw that it was like #1 right now in the country.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
The MH370.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
No. There's another show. It was a different show, and it's like Manifest. Manifest. Love that show. Love that show. Because I love that stuff. In reality, what I think happened to MH370, that got shot down, and it's a zillion different pieces, and that's why you're not finding pieces. Like I remember the whole Bermuda Triangle thing. How come people can fly through that now? No problem. Yeah, I just think it crumbled into so many pieces. Let's be honest.
Now all of a sudden we can just walk through there like ain't no problem. A while ago,
so good.
Cruise ships was disappearing, planes was gone. Now all of a sudden you go through the Bermuda Triangle, you can just whistle right through there. What's going on?
It had nothing to do with like a bad magnetic field and shoddy like radio signals, and they went off course and got lost somewhere because we forget how big the damn planet is. But anyways, that show was cheesy, but it was fun to watch. I like I said,
bigger or Flat Earth Dave.
Yeah, be ready for Flat Earth Dave next week, 9:30 to 10, not 9 to 9:30, not 10 to 11. No, 9:30 to 10. Flat Earth Dave right here next week.
Does he know basketball?
No.
Okay. No, I was just wondering if he. Okay.
I'm gonna convince him that a basketball's flat.
I was actually thinking to do that. I was thinking of doing that, to be honest.
Stop it.
Okay, nuance. What do you guys think about the Bulls extending Kobe White with Lonzo, might needing another knee surgery, or is extending Pat Bev the better option? Yeah, that was sad to hear about Lonzo.
I think you could trade Kobe White and probably get something for him. I think Pat Beverly he's going to be 35 years old, and him being 35, I don't know how viable he is as a starter. I don't think he's a starter. I think you could trade Kobe White and get something for him, maybe a first-round pick, a late first-round pick for him, and put him in a package and get something for him, and maybe, possibly, make up for that, what's going on with Lonzo. Because he might miss next season, too.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. He might not come back.
Yeah.
I have 30 seconds, I'll tell you. I think get rid of Lonzo, get rid of Kobe White, don't extend Pat Bev, trade DeMar DeRozan, trade Zach LaVine, and
blow it up. Just say that, Tone. Say blow it up. Blow it up. Whatever y'all doing in Chicago. Get the TNT, get the dynamite. Boom.
Be the
That's
Coyote.
So
Be the Coyote and they the Roadrunner. Boom.
Start over. Billy Donovan, you out too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That might be the first to go. Double P. Start bench cut. Brandon Jennings, Jeremy Lin, Lance Stevenson. Interesting.
So let's see. Brandon Jennings put 50 on Steph Curry. So
yeah,
I want to start there.
Start him.
He did put 50 on Curry, and then I got to go with Jeremy Lin to start because there was a movement called Linsanity. So I'm starting Linsanity. I'm benching Brandon Jennings, and I'm cutting Lance Stevenson.
Emotional, damn it!
You're killing me, bro. You start Lance Stevenson because of the bunch. He was the most solid player in the NBA for his entire career. You bench Brendan Jennings because he's super underrated, and you tell Jeremy Lin, enjoy your 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Jeremy
Come on, starting Jeremy Lin. Nonsense.
Great.
Did we just this Fluent and Chill in China? Like, would you try to get some extra few? You already got 800,000 followers, man.
First of all, he is not Chinese. He is from Thailand.
Yeah.
So
no. That was not. It was meant to be like if you remember Jeremy Lin. Where did the viewership skyrocket when he started?
Of course. In Asia, in the Asian community. But I think he's from Taiwan though.
Okay. You know what? Can I just quickly say I do have one thing I love about Jeremy Lin?
Yeah.
Is when I believe it was it Kenyon Martin? Kenyon Martin who said it was very disrespectful of him to have dreads.
Does he have dreads? I didn't know that.
He did at one point. Yeah, Jeremy Lin had dreads at one point.
I did not know that.
You gotta hear this story. So Jeremy Lin,
I have to look this up.
Look this up. Jeremy Lin is rocking dreads, and they look great on him, by the way. And I believe it was Kenyon Martin. If it was someone else, please, someone in the chat, I know you'll correct me. And so Kenyon Martin will use him as it says, comes out and says, "Hey, that's cultural appropriation, and you need to stop." And he goes, "No, I love it. Yeah, there it is." And he goes, "No, I think it's respectful. I'm showing how much I appreciate it. Just like you have Chinese letters tattooed on your arm."
Ooh,
that was hilarious.
I think we're done with that.
Yeah, that was funny. Like that's just you're done, bro. Oh, we got another start bench cut. Nice.
Okay, Hancho, thank you. Start bench cut. Chuckster, Malone, Dirk.
Malone, bench Dirk, cut Chuck.
Yeah. Agreed.
Say it again.
Start Malone, bench Chuck, cut Dirk.
We're in 100% agreement.
Okay. Double P. In preparation for Dave, here's a question to ponder. I will ask this question again next week. What's the difference between a full moon and a solar eclipse? Hint, according to science, there is none. It's just the shade of it's the way all the planets, moon, sun align at a certain point, right?
No, hold on. What's the difference between a full moon? Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, because he thinks the moon is
I can answer that. I can answer that right now in like 1 second. So a full moon, first of all, you only see the moon as a reflection of sunlight, right? The moon has no light. So the only reason you see the moon is because the sun is hitting it and illuminating it. So that's why when you see like a crescent moon, it's because the sun's over here. So when you see a full moon, it just means that the sun has full. I told you I know this stuff. The sun
is that true? Because aren't they always in the same rotation?
No, 100% no. The moon goes around the Earth.
Basically, the moon is like a big giant house that's dark, and the sun is like this huge light bulb that's lighting up.
And what we see is the sun reflecting off the moon. So when the sun, and let's not forget, the sun is like gazillion miles away, right, is in a position where it can hit the moon directly and light
93
it
million to be exact.
there you go. That's how you get the full reflection of the moon. Now, a solar eclipse is when the moon is directly aligned with the sun, and then you can't actually see the sun again, because it's, even though the sun is so much bigger, it's so much further away that it looks this size and the moon is closer, so it just covers the sun completely, and that's a solar eclipse. So no, it's not the same. And yes, to the chat.
Now you're more fluent.
I'm more fluent too. I gotta do my this dude. Come on, I gotta do my homework because I'm gonna be looking busy.
I know some things.
I'm not trying to. I'm not gonna look busy. No, I'm not.
People think I'm just like this dumb dude. Like, I know my stuff,
is the moon flat, Fluent?
Ridiculous.
Hey, can you handle it?
Are the planet is Pluto flat?
Here we go.
Pluto is flat. That's why it's no longer a planet.
Here we go with Pluto.
All right, we're a basketball science show. I love it.
Here we go, H. With
love
Pluto.
It.
Okay.
Y'all come here thinking like we're gonna just fight all the time about sports. No, learn stuff.
Pluto is flat, H. I don't even think Pluto is a planet.
That's what I'm coming prepared with.
It's not even out there.
Pluto's really just a collection of gas and like any other star. That's really all it is. But anyways, that's a conversation for another day.
Okay. Sports PSP. A rod to the Jets in 23. Flew pack his bags to New York. I heard that.
Yes, 1,000%. You remember? Were you on that show with Adam Rank?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that was me. It was at the time that we were doing Fluent Chill, and I was doing the Coach in AK with Hugh Jackson, and we had Adam Rank, who's like the on NFL Network. He's the fantasy football guy, and he came on the show. And he and I are obviously both Bear fans, and we were like, at the time there was talk about Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers, and the rumor at the time, so this was before Russell Wilson, was that he was going to go to Denver. And as Bears fans who've been losing to our owner, Aaron Rodgers, for so long, we were like, dude, we will go to Aaron Rodgers' house, pack up all the stuff, put it in a truck, and drive him to Denver ourselves, our cost, 100% we're paying. But he stayed in Green Bay. So, yes.
Is he gone after? Is he gone?
I think the Jets, there's way too much conversation about it. I think we don't know for sure. Only he knows, like he told everybody on Pat McAfee.
The Jets people, they just flew out to California to go see him. So the wheels are already turning on this thing.
Yeah, I think that's where he's going to end up, which is interesting because I said this on PC Gridiron last night. He's just Brett Favre.
That's what it sounds like to me, Tone.
He's in Green Bay forever. He gets only one Super Bowl. They draft a young quarterback. He treats him like crap. He has a falling out with management, and he ends up going to the Jets. So I'm like, basically, Aaron Rodgers has to go to the Jets and then end his career in Minnesota, and he's Brett Favre 2.0, as Jacob.
Bunch of league MVPs. That's not getting it done in the playoffs.
Jacob Palaganis. Tell me if I pronounce that right, Jacob. Palaganis. It sounds like a Greek name to me. I better say it right, or my dad punched me in the face.
All right. Miles, Dame having a career season at 32. Absolutely.
Yes.
I actually checked the MVP odds, and he's like 6th, which is kind of weird. It's like plus 5,000, but he's still 6th out of all players.
Always exceptions.
Yep.
Angie Carr, what's up, Angie? Y'all should do a PC start bench cut, a super chat centric show about any topic.
So just hold on. So hold on. So start bench cuts and like super chats, all start bench cuts. That's actually not a bad idea.
We actually did it yesterday on Chill with Chill. We did an all super chat show. That's all we did.
Those are fun. I like those. Maybe we'll do it next week.
No. Next week is about flat Earth.
Nah, flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth.
Flat
Earth.
With an F, by the way, not TH. Earth.
Yes, Earth. That's the only thing I believe is flat is Earth, because Earth. The Earth is round. Okay, Adrian. Hold on, Adrian. Give me a sec. Adrian, hold on 1 second, Adrian. Let me just see here. Let me just see. You guys.
Adrian got my man Tone blood pressure up a little bit.
Yeah, he's saying, I don't see any super chats from you, Adrian. I don't.
Adrian got my man blood pressure up. So
I'm disappointed in you.
And I have them all right here. They're all on the list. I never miss one.
This dude right here, he gets to the super chats. Just so you know, this dude he gets to all of them. He doesn't get to some of them. He gets to all of them.
We do. So. We make it a point every show.
Yep.
Tepeso Gaming. Oh, geez. Why does no one mention just how bad Jokic is on defense with his usage rate and being 6'11"? We'd expect he can't even give us one block on average.
Well, that's just this season. I mean, last season it wasn't that bad. In fact, I think he led the league in defensive rating last year. He was in front of Giannis. He had a season like Jabbar. Like he led Denver in blocks, he led Denver in rebounds. He was their best paint protector. So, okay, Joker isn't Olajuwon on defense. He's not the freak athlete that David Robinson is. But, Joker is solid enough on defense where he can protect himself. Right now, okay, when he goes against Embiid just makes a beeline to him. I don't know what that is, but Joker isn't as bad as you think he is on defense. I can appreciate the numbers, but he's not as bad as you think he is on defense.
Yeah, he's a big ass pylon. Stop lying. All right.
Okay, Christopher D. No, not you too, Chilltown and Fluent. Don't believe in the Lakers. It's all
Trying,
of a
Christopher. I'm trying. I'm telling you, I'm not really interested in getting on the hook. Yo, I'm not. Chris, you've seen me all season, B. You know how I feel about this crew. But here we go. And it's exactly what you just said. She's that one next that swears she's changed and she's going to leave you. Yes, that's what's happening with them right now. Anthony Davis, they've won. I think the Lakers have won 6 of their last 8. Anthony Davis is averaging something stupid like 39 and 8 in his last 3 games. I'm getting sucked in. I'm telling you, Christopher, and I hate it. I don't like it at all. I don't. Look at this dude over here. Look at this one over here, though.
You better hit him up once.
Oh my God. Trying, Christopher.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not sucked into it, but I might be eventually. I'm
you still believe in the Warriors, so
yeah. Double P, wrong LA team, Fluent. The Clippers will lose to the Sixers in the finals. Whoa, okay. Not financial advice, but you can get a plus 11.
Okay. Sorry. I thought you were done. Sorry, go.
Oh no, I was. Go.
As long as Tone called them the paper clips, that's what they are.
Yeah.
And you go paper clips ain't going.
The Sixers and the Clippers, like that would be.
I'm okay with
this.
Sixers are my dark horse.
They're creeping up.
I'm telling you. I've told you before. I think Joel Embiid might be the MVP, and if he plays MVP ball, they could go to the final. They could surprise y'all. I'd love to see it too. I'd love to see it. Love to see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How crucial is Austin Reeves to the Lakers?
Crucial. He's definitely
every player. I'm going to say this again. Every player that gets minutes on every team, but specifically on the Lakers, that can knock down shots is crucial because Anthony Davis and LeBron James, once he comes back, need space to operate. And the only way to get that is by those guys knocking down shots. They're super huge, super important.
Yeah.
Defensively, especially, but just having Vanderbilt and man, the Lakers do look really good. I will admit, but I just don't trust it.
Stop, Hailey. Because I'm looking at this crew, man. I'm looking at this crew and I'm just getting sucked in and I'm trying not to. I'm really not.
I mean, anything's possible. It's just like, think about this. Like, LeBron is going to be out for the rest of the regular season at least. And then trying to integrate him into a lineup where they've already, like, built their lineups. They kind of figured out what works. I mean, LeBron's pretty easy to I don't know. He's pretty on ball, so I don't know how that's going to work. But we shall see. Reggie Reg, Fluent. I don't even think Chill believes you.
Yes, I do. Yeah, yes, I do. I'm talking about the Clippers. Yes, I do.
It might have been from back with either the James. It might have been during the LeBron James thing.
Oh no, I believe that.
Yeah, see.
Chill. Who's your Stan 601? Chill. Who's your favorite player of all time?
Dominique Wilkins. I was a huge Dominique Wilkins fan. Oh my God! As much as I love Jordan, James, Dominique Wilkins, I just love Dominique Wilkins. He was awesome.
The most underrated player in the history of basketball. Yeah, I want to remind people.
Fluent, is yours Magic?
Magic, yeah. Well, Kobe. No, Kobe. Magic was first, and then Kobe took over that. But it's I fight with myself all the time because it's just both. I'm just gonna say both.
Battle.
Yeah.
Dominic, 2 scoring titles. Second place 6 times to Michael Jordan.
Who you think was chasing Jordan all them years when Jordan was averaging 35?
If Jordan wasn't that guy or wasn't in the league, we would be talking about Dominique Wilkins. And if Dominique Wilkins had gone to a team, if Dominique Wilkins went to the Lakers, this is why I always say KD is Dominique Wilkins for me, because if Dominique leaves and goes to the Lakers and wins a couple of chips, which he would have with Magic and company, what are we saying? We're saying a phenomenal scorer who went to a great team and won a couple of chips. Like they're not as far off as you think. KD's the better player. Don't get me wrong, but it's closer than you think.
Yeah.
Just being in that same era with somebody else, it's tough.
Yeah, like he couldn't win an MVP. He was playing with Bird, Dr. J, Magic, Jordan, Olajuwon, like the Moses Malone. The list. It was so like I feel bad for him. Any other time, he's probably remembered way differently.
Yeah,
like Joel, kind of in Jokic's shadow.
Yeah.
Even though he's insane. Okay, Angie H Boogie, thoughts on Bronny's 5-star ranking?
H Boogie, what up?
Man, I think he's like listed as, is he like 10th in the nation right now or something? Listed as 10th in the nation.
Well, okay. So Twitter comes out. Let's just be clear. James comes out and tweets that Bronny's better than a bunch of dudes he's watching in the league right now, which is just ridiculous. And immediately following that, he gets bumped up to a 5-star.
Isn't that crazy?
The power of Twitter.
Here's my thinking. Like Bronny has shown, look, he was coming off the bench, right? For a majority of his high school career. Now he's
until his junior year.
Until junior. Yeah. And so now he's playing better. He's worked on it, but he's not like he's not going to make it in the NBA. Look, what I want to see is him go through college. But I don't think he's a 5-star ranked player. Although a lot of critics or scouts have said, this is one of the lighter draft classes that have come in, right? So Bronny is really good, I guess, for his draft class. But you're LeBron James' son, and I know that's so much pressure to put on a kid to trying to make his way, but at the same time, you don't want to be given all this stuff because you're LeBron James' son. So hopefully college, he can make a name for himself. He is really talented, like, don't get me wrong, but that college time is going to be so crucial to like making your own space in the league.
Definitely needs to go to school. No question about that.
Definitely.
The logic that, he's better than this guy, James, you're going to screw him up if you throw him out there. Nah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do a couple more, then we'll do our draft, then we'll finish off with the rest of the super chats.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then bring you guys on,
Okay, Christopher D. I was just on Dub's podcast last night. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. And he got started when the Lakers made the 9th seed. Henny Dub was in effect over a 9th seed. Oh man, what's this podcast?
Dub's
Player's Choice?
Dub's World. No, Dub's World. It's Dub's tough enough to deal with when he's not on the Henny. I like sober Dub more than Henny Dub.
I think your Lakers, Tone, I think they're only 3 games out of the 5 spot.
Of the 5?
They're only like 3 games out the 5 spot. Jeez. I know that's nuts. I know it.
That's crazy. Wow. So the Lakers could really do this thing. They really could.
I can't believe I'm getting sucked into this. I can't. I'm trying not to, H. I'm trying.
Stay out of this.
Because
just so you know, we're only 5 games out of the 4th spot.
5 games.
We could host a series.
No, whoa. That's way too crazy.
Easy.
5 games. It's only 5 games. You just said 5 games. Wasn't that crazy a second ago? Now it's crazy.
And I think you also a game out the 13th spot. Too.
Well, yeah.
So easy. Let's slow down.
Why you gotta be all so negative all the time?
If you were to play, let's say you make it to the 5th seed, who would you be matching up with?
Well,
it's 4 and 5, right?
It's 4 or 5.
Is that Clippers, Lakers?
Right now, it's the Clippers, but it would depend because
we just dropped today.
But here's the thing: it could be. Let's assume Denver. It could be Memphis. They're not. They're going to fall. Right. So if Memphis falls, it could be them, which would be great. It could be the Clippers. It could be Golden State. It could it's so tight. Heck, it could be Minnesota, who's 2.5 games back of 5th. So it could really be anybody. Which
I want to take it a step further than that.
Who I'd want it to be. I'd want it to be Memphis.
Yeah,
I want LA versus LA. Imagine that.
Put this on your mind really quick, Tone. Just so you know, if the playoffs ended today, right? You got the 7-8 seed. And you got the 7-8 seed, and you got the 9-10 seed, right? Mm-hmm. So if 7 wins and 9-10 wins, which is the Lakers, if 8 loses, which is the Clippers, guess who the Lakers got to play to get in the playoffs?
No, if 8 loses, it's Dallas. Dallas is 8th right now.
So and where the Clippers at?
It shifted. Dallas is 5.
No,
The Clippers.
Clippers are 5. Clippers are 5.
Okay, so they literally just
Yeah,
this was
So
just yesterday.
Dallas. Your same scenario, it would be they'd have to play Dallas to get in.
Yeah, Warriors lost to the. Yeah, either way, the West just seems so easy.
That's why we got to go on a run.
Yeah. All right.
You don't want to leave it up to that one game.
No. Suave. Ticket listening to this shaking his head.
Oops. Oh yes, Tickets was listening to me saying LeBron James has a chance of being the GOAT. Oh, 100%. He's starting a live right now to talk about how crazy Fluent is. He might be right. He might be right.
Christopher D. Hailey respectfully. Curry's done winning titles in Golden State. Bet.
I bet you said that last year.
It did. Bet. Curry will get one more ring. I promise you, he'll have a full ring-studded hand by the time his career is over.
Okay.
Gnor. 2 of my favorite analysts been watching you and Player's Choice from day one. You both have given me a greater understanding of the game.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's sweet.
Or woman. I don't know. Thanks, person.
Thank you.
I got to be careful with that.
You notice that he said 2, so he wasn't talking about me. He was talking about y'all too.
No,
National Women's Month.
I thought he was talking about you.
Come on now.
I thought he was talking about you too.
He was talking about you too.
No, what are you talking about? Strange, cool guy. Who would you personally rather guard, Kyrie or Allen Iverson? Wonder where you got that idea. I just posted that on Instagram. And it went like really viral.
Well, at this point, I'd have to guard Kyrie because Allen Iverson already has one of my ankles, and he never gave it back. So
I would rather guard Kyrie because I could go after him.
You might have both, to be honest. Yeah.
Iverson's gonna make an attempt to defend. Like I'd rather guard Kyrie because I can go after. I'll go after Kyrie. I would definitely go after him.
I just tell him the Earth is round, and we start debating versus playing basketball.
Mental game. Christopher D again. Thank you. KD potentially out for the rest of the season. What are the Suns' chances for making a deep playoff run? 0.
Their playoffs are the same as the Lakers. It's going to rest on the health of Chris Paul.
What an answer. 0.
Yeah.
All right. We ready? Yeah. Without KD, there's no point. We ready to do this draft?
Can I be the commissioner?
No, you are in the draft. Okay, you want to be commissioner? I know you weren't ready. Okay, you weren't ready.
I'll be commissioner. That way we can clip these two.
The pick will be put in.
Okay, you can be the commissioner. Fine.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
Okay,
so explain the rules.
You worked your way out of that one.
I'm sorry.
So the rules are simple, but now I got to change the graphic on the fly.
Hailey Boogie is out, so it's just me and Tone.
Okay, since you're the commissioner, who's got the first pick?
You do. Fluent this time. Jay was last.
Okay. In that case, there you go. I gotta move everything out of the way. Here, let me put this over here. Yeah, you guys all seeing the stuff in the background. Okay, so so I go first.
Yep.
Okay, so sorry, you wanted me to say the rules?
Yeah, just so we can clip it.
So here's the rules of the draft. Anybody that's ever played, any character in a movie, any basketball playing character. So I have the picture of these two here, Jordan and LeBron, because you can't pick either one of those two because Jordan and LeBron played themselves. So it's any fictional basketball player played by anybody. And yes, and Adrian, I know you said we're gonna get to your super chat. I promise. I put it in. I tagged it, so we're good.
You got
All right. So my first pick. Sorry, let me get this back up so I can type it in as we go. My first pick. I like to start my teams with the man in the middle. So I am picking. I'm gonna go with Neon Budo.
Yes,
if you don't know, that was the movie Blue Chips.
Yep.
And it was the character was Neon Budo, who's a phenomenal center, played by Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna start mine with a point guard, and I'm gonna go with Mr. Butch McRae.
Butch McRae. You have to explain to everybody who Butch McRae is because they might not know.
Butch McRae is Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway from the same movie, Blue Chips. So we both went Blue Chips in 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna then go because when I have a big man, I need someone who can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And what better shooter than the second greatest shooter of all time?
Of course.
Jesus. Stole that one.
Of course.
Shuttlesworth.
Of course, Gigi Shuttlesworth. Absolutely.
From He Got Game, in case you don't know.
Well, with Butch McRae being the playmaker that he is, he's going to set up my man Jimmy Chipwood so well. So I'm going to go with Jimmy Chipwood.
In chat, make sure you're getting ready to vote because we will put a poll, or at least have you cast your votes.
All right, so you going with Jimmy Chitwood, right?
That's correct.
There we go. Cool. Well, now I need someone who can distribute the ball to these fellas.
Mm-hmm.
And who better than the unassuming little old man? You'd never know that he was Uncle Drew.
Of course.
But you try to D up Uncle Drew. My little old man.
Of course. Well, you got Uncle Drew, which I can appreciate. I got my backcourt. I need a dirty work guy. So my dirty work guy, I'm going to go with my man Raymond from White Man Can't Jump. That would be the infamous, as everybody knows him, Mr. Marcus Johnson. Used to play for the Milwaukee Bucks in the 70s and late 70s and early 80s.
What was his name in the movie?
And Raymond.
You got it,
sir.
You're right. All right, so I got Uncle Drew. I got Jesus. I got Neon. I need some toughness too. And you know who took a beating? When I'm talking about beating, elbows, punches, suplexes, Thomas Shepard from Above the Rim.
Oh, that's what I was gonna go with. Actually, you took
a beating, so he's gonna be my dirty work guy.
You took my pick. Right.
Anybody that could play basketball in the middle of the night with no ball, that's the kind of player I like.
And no lights neither, Tone.
No lights, nothing.
Don't leave that out. And no lights neither. So, oh man. So if you're gonna take him, then I have to go with my. I gotta go because I'm going big, and probably the best basketball movie that I've seen, which is Glory Road. I'm gonna go with my other frontline man, which is Mr. David Lattin off that UTEP team. First, they started 5 black players and they beat Kentucky in the national championship. David Lattin was my bruiser.
I'm actually going to go off my board for my last pick because I want to throw in a wild card. I need a little wild card because these teams are good. And I've got a lot of traditional basketball guys here, but it's always, every game gets a little hairy, scary. And who better than a little a little supernatural, in case one of your guys tries to step up his game, we could
dirty work.
Teen Wolf, baby.
All right, Jay, you got one more.
Well,
that one, Teen Wolf threw him off.
Tone took a.
They're not liking that.
Tone took all the good ones, but I do need a big man. And Moses Guthrie, when I think about Moses, but I'm also thinking about my man Cornbread. I'm gonna go with Moses.
You know Moses?
Yes.
Just so you know, the chat was all about Bugs Bunny and Air Bud.
I can't believe no one dropped Air Bud.
If I had a 6 man, it would be either the Like Mike, little Bow Wow with the shoes.
Yeah, you can pick your 6 man.
Or the Thunderstruck. Oh, okay. Then I'm taking the kid from Thunderstruck who took all of Katie's powers. I don't know his name, but that dude. Okay. Or no, I lie. I take it Billy Hoyle. I need another shooter.
Moses Guthrie wasn't a big man. That's the fish that saved Pittsburgh. Oh, that's Doc, actually.
All right. So there's the draft. I'll recap it. I've got Neon Boudreaux, if you don't know, that's Shaq. Jesus Shuttlesworth, if you don't know, that's from He Got Game, that's Ray Allen. Uncle Drew, that's Kyrie. Thomas Shepard from Above the Rim. And Teen Wolf. Chill went with Butch McRae, which is Penny Hardaway from Blue Chips. Jimmy Chitwood from Hoosiers. Then you got Raymond, David Lattin, and Moses. So
Mm-hmm.
those are his 5. How you feel about your team?
I think we got a shot, Tone. I do. I think we got a shot. We're gonna get up and down the floor with Penny and Doc. I got my dirty work guy, Marcus Johnson. So and Jimmy Chipwood shooting the basketball. Yeah, I think we're gonna be a problem.
All right. So in the chat, let us know. One thing I noticed. Nobody picked anybody from the Monstars. Is that because you didn't know any of the players?
Well, we already made it. Like you said, Jordan played. Jordan.
No. But and the Monsters.
Yeah, they play themselves just with their
Barkley.
like.
No, okay, that's true.
Yeah,
There's no poll. There's no. I don't have a poll, FIFA boy. I don't have that access. They don't give me that much. I see.
Yeah,
I see a lot of people fluent. A lot of fluent.
Chill sweeps. Fluent's team easy.
Chill sweeps. Can you crazy?
Fluent,
I see more fluent. Anyways, we'll let you keep going in there. Fluent, whatever. Put in who you got. We're gonna do some super chats, and then we already got our first.
Do we have a guest?
Person waiting to jump in. So I'll put the link in the chat once we get through. What we'll do is maybe half of the super chats, and then I'll put in the link and let you guys in. So let's just jump back into the super chats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Angie Carr. Do y'all think the "he's a kid, he's young" argument might be used as an excuse to keep players in college longer so they can develop?
I actually would like to see players. In fact, GMs would like to see players stay in school more often because these guys come to the league and they're not ready. And more times than not, guys that are not ready, that developmental process in the pros, it's accelerated. And a lot of these guys aren't ready. Like in college, at least you can get these guys acclimated. And the college game is very much translated to the pro game. So you could teach these guys the pro game in college a little bit and let them develop as opposed to, I don't think it's an excuse. No, I don't think it's an excuse at all. But I would like to see guys stay in school longer.
I believe the children of the future. No, I believe that in many businesses, there's a requirement for education, right? You have to have a bachelor's, a master's, whatever to get that job.
Age requirement. I gotta be 21 years old.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. So I believe 100% that they should keep everybody it should be, hey, that you need to have this degree to make it to be allowed entry into the NBA. But wait, there's more. One of the reasons a lot of kids were coming out early was money. Let's be honest, right? They needed money, and you can't get paid, you can't get this, you can't get that, and so they went into the NBA some too early when they shouldn't have. But now with NIL, you're able to make some money, so that's not an excuse anymore. That being said, just like in business, there's certain instances, like I said, where you have to have a master's. I got a job years ago that required a master's before I had one, and I got the job because they said you had exceptional kind of skill, talent, and experience. So I got that thing waived. Yeah. So I think 100% they should allow like those exceptions, right? It should be, hey, we're giving you a pass to get through. Right. And those are the exceptions. Like, if basically a team has to say, hey, I'm drafting you. Like it's almost like I'm I drafting you card, not a, hey, come in and see what happens, because you can't go back, right? Once you've hired an agent, back then you couldn't re-enter the draft. You had an agent, you were a professional, and it screwed up a lot of kids. So I think they should make exceptions for certain people.
Mm-hmm. That's a good take.
Thanks.
Rolo 555, better player, 1970s Dr. J or KD, 2012 through 2019.
I mean, Dr. J was incredible. KD might have been more skilled, right? Doc was just as good, if not a better athlete. And I mean, I don't think it's a wash, because KD was revolutionary in terms of his ability to score, being that big. But I will give KD the edge, but it's not by a lot. It's not by a lot. Doc was a better transition player than KD. I think Doc was a better defender than KD. I think KD was a better scorer than Doc. I think he was more skilled than Doc, no doubt about that. So I think that he might be able to get the edge on Doc in certain aspects, but it's not a wash. No.
Just so you know, the results are in. I won the game. And you know what? I'm really tough on. I'm really this one bothers me. I love Dr. J. I want to pick Dr. J, but if I was drafting a team, I'm taking KD.
Of course.
So,
Yeah.
KD, right? Like, which is too bad because I think a lot of people don't realize how good Dr. J was, especially back then in the 70s, even more so than in the 80s when he was in the NBA.
Agreed. Okay, put it on vinyl. I asked Chill this on his show, and I'd like to know your answers, Fluent and H. What are your favorite sports movies and thoughts on the Creed films? Oh, man.
You have a favorite sports movie?
Yeah, well, I did martial arts like my whole life, so I'm a big karate.
Bloodsport.
Yeah. I love all boxing, like
really good.
Rocky. I love Karate Kid. I love the old ones, and then of course the Jaden Smith one I rocked with for a little while too. Thoughts on the Creed movies? I liked the first one. I did. It was all right, but the second one was they're not bad. They're for a boxing movie, they're okay. I like how well made they are. It's just a little bit like cringy. You always
on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Rock Creed Part 2. H, what you got?
Like a 5.5.
All right, so it's kind of mid. So it's kind of mid.
You know
yeah,
why?
The
you know
first
why?
one was like really good. Why?
I feel like it's
much
because
drama.
it's because you weren't in the Cold War era when Rocky 4 came out and felt the power of the movie Rocky 4. And me and Miss Fluent fight all the time because I have Rocky 3 as the best Rocky ever. That with Mr. T, Clubber Lane. Like I think that the whole movie's phenomenal. And she's got Rocky 4 as the greatest Rocky movie ever. But that movie, if you were alive back then and felt the tension, like you really felt like these dudes were fighting for like nuclear, like it was, like you felt it. And so to have Ivan Drago come back and be like, man, it ruined his life that he lost. He went up against his country and now he's, waiting in line for toilet paper. So I think you would have more respect for Creed if you lived through that. I think.
No, I totally get that. Like the context. Wait, is there a Creed 3 coming out?
There is.
Yeah.
That's why Michael B. Jordan's been like plastered everywhere.
I think it's going to be the best one because
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, that's that dude. That's that dude who plays Kang in the. If you watch Marvel, whatever, like that dude. That's gonna be a good. I feel like that's gonna be really good. That's gonna be really good.
I'll watch it for sure.
But yeah, as far as movies go, Above the Rim, Rocky 3, as I mentioned, like, and I'll say this: I'm secure enough in my manhood to tell you, I can watch Field of Dreams 8,000 times and cry every single time. I will, if that movie's on TV, I will stop and watch it every single time. I
love Friday Night Lights too.
Yeah, love that movie.
I love the football ones for sure. Okay, good question. Andrew Carr, they offered Fluent some of that super poutine when he got injured.
I wish I was in Canada. That poutine probably would have helped.
Alex, this is part 2. I believe the MH370 was hijacked. Malaysian politics involved too.
What happened to the people then? What
killed them all.
Yeah.
Listen, you know all those crazy movies where they do that stuff?
One of them would have got away.
Sure, one of them maybe. But I just like, it's not all like, they didn't just make it all like people don't have that mind. There's some reality in all of those damn movies. Like this is not anywhere near the same, but let me give you an example. Growing up in Canada, our high school team, which was phenomenal, would get like, I don't know, 50 people to watch a game. And we thought that was really cool. And we would see these movies from your country down south there, where there was like cheerleaders and marching bands, and you'd play the game, and then after you'd go to this big huge mansion and you'd drink yourself into oblivion and jump into a pool and do things with the wrong people. So we fly to Arizona, to Scottsdale, and we play a tournament at Chaparral High School, who, by the way, the coach of Chaparral, Paul Westphal, he had just gotten fired from the Phoenix Suns. His son and daughter both attended that school, and he just decided to coach. So we go, and we
This is the dude who was coaching in the NBA Finals, by the way.
Yeah, coaching in the NBA. Yeah, and like weeks earlier, and so we're going against them, and now it's in a tournament, but we play them in the final. We win the tournament. But we walk up to this high school, and we're like, "Geez, it's like 10 times the size of our high school."
Right.
There's 1,000+ people in the stands. There's a marching band. There's cheerleaders. Right. They're doing the whole thing. We win the tournament. We go back to this big mansion, party, drink too much, and do crazy stuff. And I'm just like, that's out of a movie. And like, you didn't realize, it's like, well, yeah, where do you think the movie guys got it from? Yeah, because somebody lived it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying.
All of this stuff ain't made up. Not all of it. It's
not all made up. Now, they might exaggerate it. They throw a happy ending on it. But let's be honest, in most cases,
not all of it is made up.
You know that ain't a happy ending.
Yeah.
Sadly. I know I'm saying it laughing, but.
Put it on final. What are some of the prettiest jumpers you've seen?
Easy for me. 2 of them, Glenn Rice and Allen Houston. If there's a picture of a guy shooting a jump shot in the dictionary, it's Allen Houston. He was straight up and straight down. The ball it was the most beautiful jump shot. Him, Glenn Rice. Oh man. And Glenn Rice could get it off against anybody. It was just so smooth, especially in transition. Even though Jordan's was textbook too, Allen Houston's was the prettiest. Oh my God.
The 2 prettiest jumpers I've ever seen are Steph Curry and mine.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty big. It was pretty.
Johnny Sims. Question: Kobe or Timmy? Who is better?
Timmy.
Come on.
Timmy.
Somebody asked me this today too. Actually,
yeah, no, it's Kobe next. It's Kobe next.
Timmy.
It's Kobe next.
Okay, under 3,200. How good was Pat Ewing, and what would he be today?
Joel Embiid. That's who he is. That's who Ewing is.
Yeah, Joel Embiid without a 3-pointer.
That's it. That's who Ewing is.
Yeah, but more physical,
more ferocious,
like more durable.
Yeah.
So
that's who he is.
Will eliminate his threes, but make him kind of stronger and more durable. Yeah, 100%.
Do you real quick? Do you guys think Joel should be more aggressive, or not?
Should he be more aggressive?
Somebody was telling me that he could be a little bit, not in a in a healthy way, and like leave your mark. Like you're literally.
He could be a better. Man, he could be a better rebounder. He could be a better rebounder. No question about it. He could be a better rim protector.
Why are you always on the perimeter? I don't want to see that. You're a center. Like you have plenty of shooters on your team. I don't understand. Like I know anyway. Okay. John, Stephanie and the Warriors are cooked. Snowflake. All right then. We'll see you. I'll talk to you in a month or 2. Christopher D. Hailey, did you get? Oh, here we go. Did you feel the way after they got smoked out by the Grizzlies tonight? Tonight mattered. It didn't matter tonight, but big game. Good job for you. I don't know what to say.
When the Warriors lose, she can't get a sentence out.
I want to see this. I was wondering where this energy was at last year when they won the NBA Finals, though. I was
right.
How y'all dudes was. Y'all wasn't talking this to her because just so you know, we didn't just come on like a month or 2 ago. No, we was around when the NBA Finals.
Oh, you wait. If the Warriors are in the final again, or even in the Western Conference Final, no one will be talking anymore.
Right.
Also,
John Dina, I don't have John Dina. By the way, I don't have a super chat from you, so keep going.
As an Australian, I love Ben Simmons. Do you think he will ever reach the player he was at the 76ers?
I just don't. Unless he gets that love for basketball back, because I think it's gone. I don't think he wants to play basketball anymore.
I don't think he ever wanted to play basketball. I think it was just about money, and I don't think you're going to see him in the league in 2 years.
I like Ben Simmons a lot, like off the court. I think he could do, like fashion or whatever. Now he has like start a business or something. He has some good bits, but I don't know.
I'm going a little bit quicker because I am trying to get to
oh no, we did this one.
Waiting. Oh, we did this one?
Yes, we did.
Okay, awesome.
I'll be right back. Can you finish them?
Yeah.
Yes,
all right, double T. Rebuttal. Moonlight is cooler than sunlight, and it's its own light, so it's not a reflective of sunlight. You can see the moon and sun during the day sometimes. No, it's still a reflection of the sun, just because you can see both. Again, it's about angles. You're incorrect. You're incorrect. Go talk to my friend there. What's his name? DeGrasse. What's his name? Neil deGrasse. Go check him out. He's a smart dude. All right, Adrian. My internet isn't great, but in case my super chat gets lost. Fluent, is there anybody specifically you want to see in a Bears jersey via free agency or the draft? DeAndre Hopkins. I want Justin Fields to get a clear-cut number one wide receiver, and I think he's probably the only one that's going to get moved. So DeAndre Hopkins.
And you'll have him for the whole season. Like he missed 6 games.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't do any more PEDs, we good.
Yeah.
Double P, out of the 3 artists, which would you sign, feature in a song, and drop from the label? Common, LL Cool J, Drake. Ooh.
This all he did was reword this. This is start bench cut. He just
That's
all he did. Yeah, that's all he did. So I'm starting Drizzy, I'm benching L, and I'm dropping Common.
I love Common.
Mm-hmm.
Like I listened to Common when he was Common.
He's dope,
Sense.
no doubt about that.
Common Sense.
Yes, he was dope.
But yes, Common's getting cut. But I'm going to flip it. I'm going to sign LL and feature Drake because I like when LL is like the main, and then he's got someone like singing like. You know, you got
hooks and stuff like that. Yeah, that's dope.
He's hitting a rhyme, and then you got like in the background. You know,
that could definitely be a case.
I think I could be a producer. I think I could be a producer. Brian Laguerre, 18. LeBron, most 40-point playoff games in a single playoff. Most game winners. LeBron averaged 35 going into the finals. The next best was 13 points per game. That's the biggest gap on a team since 1964. I could teach.
Yes, you could. Only except you could teach if you were the only one who knew that, but we all knew that as well. So that's not news because I also knew that too.
John Dina, I didn't get a super chat from you. So if you don't repeat what you said, I can't read it.
Your whole check, not some of the check, but your whole check.
No, I appreciate it if you did it, but it ain't in here. Yeah. So you better. I'll read it as a. I'll trust you. I'll trust you. I'll trust you. Then what the question is?
That other one you just put up there. LL is not overrated. You are all on crack.
LL is underrated.
You are crazy.
LL Cool J is hard as hell.
Is not underrated.
Anybody, I don't care who you tell. I excel. Anyways, I love LL. Anyways, Calvin Cambridge smoking all these dudes. He kid MJ. Agree? Disagree?
I don't know. I'm not gonna go that far.
Well, there you go. Lopez 9 blocks today. Damn. Who's winning? Defensive Player of the Year?
It's gonna be Jaren, isn't it? Jaren Jackson, isn't he leading?
Nah, but the problem with Jaren Jackson is he fouls. He fouls a lot. And
he fouls out a lot.
Yeah, he fouls out a lot. So he could be a detriment to their defense sometimes. Yeah. Brook Lopez, him, Claxton, and I think Mikal Bridges are right there. I think Mikal, but when I think about Brook Lopez, his ability to rim protect, that can't just be it though. And again, we're looking at Brook Lopez. He's on a really good defensive team. I mean, he's on the team with Giannis. He's on the team with Drew Holiday. So is he the best defensive player in the game? He might not be the best defensive player on his team. So we might want to chill out with that. I'm not prepared to go there just yet.
Hey, Troll, LL knocked cannabis out of the game, bro. Let's be clear.
Yeah, you bugging with that, yo. Yeah, he wow.
Yeah, Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. That was good.
Yeah.
Wait, this is for you.
No.
I read it wrong, right? Angie, sorry, my bad. So Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon or Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon was dope. I went to go see that on Easter Sunday when it first came out. Yes, I did. The Last Dragon was dope. Yes, I did. But Bruce Lee was something. Bruce Lee was something different. H, you can appreciate this being a martial arts person. Like a lot of people talk about big guys, just so you know, Bruce Lee was 5'4", 150 pounds. He was a little dude, but he'll whoop your ass. Yes, he will. So I might have to go into the Dragon. When I think about the Last Dragon today, it was kind of cheesy.
Yeah, look, all of them are though. Looking back,
kind of cheesy.
They're all. Let's be honest, they're all cheesy.
Let me just,
John Dina, just send in, just retype it out. You don't have to put it in a super chat. I believe you. I just don't have it here anywhere. I have all the super chats here. You can't see them. Just resend it. I will read it whenever you post it. I will read it. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. We got one more, and then we're gonna get to Tony Styles, who's been waiting patiently. Tony, you got the right name, so you're getting on. 97 Jordan, 15 Bronny. Who you got?
Where's LeBron in 2015?
James in 2015, he had just got to Cleveland. Took that team to the NBA Finals. Jordan was on that Bulls team in 1997. They won 69 games that year. But this is a trick question. James.
Jordan. What did James
Why is
do
it
in
a trick
2015?
question?
Say it again.
Why do you think it was
15? Did he win anything in 15?
Yeah, they won the Eastern Conference Championship, and he took the Cavs
so
to the playoffs.
He won nothing. So I'm taking the guy who won.
Didn't make the playoffs the year before that. They didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, but who do you have compared to who MJ had?
Yeah, just so you know, they didn't make the playoffs the year before that. Let's make sure we clear on that.
Who did they play? Get out of here. Out of here.
They swept an Atlanta Hawks team that was 14 games over 500 against the Western Conference. Smoked them. And James didn't have Kyrie Irving for 2 of the 4 games that they smoked them. Smoked them.
Recency bias. Your choice, all-time freshest jerseys.
All-time. Let's see. All-time freshest jersey. I remember when the Spurs in 2001, when they came out with the what is that thing called, Tone? The actual Spur. That's what I'm thinking about. With the Spur and they had the shocks on. I thought those was dope.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I hated these. And if you ever had one, you knew that if you ever wore it and started like actually played a game and started to sweat, it felt like 100-pound weight on your chest. But people in the chat are saying that throwback Toronto jerseys with the big dinosaur on it.
Oh yeah.
You didn't like those, Tom?
No, I'm not saying I didn't like them. I'm saying if you ever wore an actual one, they were
heavy.
It was so heavy. Yeah.
That.
If you started to sweat,
What
it felt literally like
100-pound weight.
What's that?
Or like metallic-y or
no. It was just embroidered dinosaur, but it was thick and heavy, and it was I'll say I have two. I have two. I really liked when the Bulls came out with that alternate black with a really thin pin
with the pinstripe. Those was dope. Yeah, that was dope.
Those were like at that time amazing. And now it's the Lakers. You know the blue one,
the powder blue. I was just gonna say that, Tom.
Powder blue Laker one.
Yeah, powder blue was dope.
Yeah, that.
I thought that was dope.
I think they look like Teletubbies. They're like little pre-workout. Like maybe that was last season. They're all like yellow and blue. They look like Teletubbies. Not a fan.
Another conspiracy: the Titanic didn't sink. It was the Olympic. That is actually correct. I don't think that's a conspiracy. I think that's a fact. That the owner of the boat just put, because the Titanic wasn't ready. And so they painted the name Titanic on another boat, which was the Olympic, and it was actually the Olympic that sunk because the Titanic was supposed to be unsinkable, but it wasn't ready in time. So yeah, I'm all for that one. And then here finally, John Dina says, "Is Osama bin Laden dead?" OG, I spoke about this last year. He didn't. You said you don't think he's dead?
No, I don't.
But we saw him.
No, we didn't. We actually saw what's his name? The dude from we saw it what's his name? Man? No, not his right hand man. Who am I thinking about? That George Bush, they went in 2004 who am I thinking about?
Manuel Noriega?
No, not Manuel Noriega, but they found him in a hole, dragged him out of a hole, and they hung him.
Yeah.
Hussein?
Meanwhile, no, not who?
Saddam.
That's what I'm talking about. Saddam found him in a hole. Saddam Hussein found him in a hole. Meanwhile, bin Laden, the ultimate disrespect was to take his body and throw it in the ocean. But we ain't see him. I'm good. I don't believe it.
All right. Next up, we bringing in Tony Styles, who's been messaging me on Instagram, who says he knows his stuff. I don't know what he's going to talk about. So I hope it's something good, Tony. So we're bringing in him.
Topic.
Yeah, the other two. I have no idea.
Okay.
You have a topic? I hope he has a topic.
Well, I have a topic, but I want to address some of the things you said. First off, shout out to Sean Kemp, dude doing drive-bys in his mid-50s. So
okay, well, hold on. Let's get the story straight. Let's get the story. I'm glad he brought that up. Let's get the story straight. First and foremost, he got some stuff stolen out of his car. He was able to track his iPhone and tracked his iPhone back to the spot where the stuff was. He goes up to the car with the intention to get his stuff back. Dude starts blasting at him, so he blasts back. Now again,
that's okay. That's totally different.
The state of Washington is an open carry state, so he had the strap on him, which is registered. And by the way, the charges against him got dropped. So,
but I ain't knocking him. I give him a shout out for it.
Yes,
I'm loving this. Sean,
you know what I mean?
Steal my stuff. I will come find you.
There we go. There we go. Couple things there too in your draft. I can't believe nobody brought up Brendan Fraser from Bedazzled with the Devil's Powers.
Oh yes,
the dude was averaging like 125 a game.
You know why though?
Why?
Because you remember what was bad about him?
Well, hey, but that ain't got nothing to do on court, right?
Yeah, still, dude, I can't have that.
That's like I know a girl. She slept with Eddie George. She said he's got the same thing going. But he was a beast on the field. All
right.
Okay. And I can't believe nobody picked Marlon Wayans from The Sixth Man because you get his brother's ghost with him.
He's on my list. But I didn't.
You know,
was he better than his brother in Celtic Pride?
No, it doesn't matter. You get the brother with him. You know, it's kind of like if you get one of the Antetokounmpo brothers, you get Giannis with him.
That might work. Yeah.
Right. So
that might work.
A couple other points you made, like you kept saying, like, you know, between. Yeah, a couple other points though, like you said, between like Jordan and LeBron, you know, everything in the advance is like 1-2, you know, but like for example, LeBron's third in PER, and he's closer to Anthony Davis than he is Jordan in that. Duncan got thrown out in the regular season, game 80, not the playoffs. Lens from the Bay. I'm
100% confident that was against Dallas. Are you sure that wasn't in the playoffs?
No, because in 07, Dallas got smoked in the first round by the Warriors.
I gotta say, Ty,
and in the first round, he played the Nuggets. I mean, we put some money on it if you want.
No, hold on. Time out real quick.
You are right about that. Because
you know what this reminds me of? You know what this reminds? Did you guys ever watch PTI, like the original? Pardon the interruption.
Yes.
This is our Tony Reale coming in to give us all our mistakes.
There we go. Well, I mean, put me on the show. We'll get you.
Now that I think about it, Joey Crawford got suspended for the playoffs. He didn't get suspended for the rest of the playoffs. He got suspended for.
No, you was right that he got suspended for the playoffs.
Yes, he did. That's correct. That is correct.
Okay. So Lens from the Bay, Jeremy Lens from the Bay. He's not from any other else. Yeah. Golden State 7-26 on the road. I mean, I've never heard of any team. His family's from there. They moved to Virginia first. Yeah, right.
And he went to Stanford. No, he didn't go to Stanford. I'm sorry, he went to Harvard. That's where he went.
Right. Golden State 7-26 away. I don't know how any of y'all think he's going to win the West. Huh?
He's still Jeremy Lin's still getting cut, but yes, go ahead.
Right. 7 for 26.
All they got to do is win one game on the road and get home.
Well, if they're well, right, but I mean, if they're the road team like that, more likely they're gonna have to win 2 road games.
All you gotta do
likely. I'm just saying more likely. If you're the road team,
swept or 1-5.
You figure if you figure so if they end up winning. And they go, only got to do is
no. I'm saying, yeah. That's true in numbers, but I'm saying as the road team, they're probably not going to win every home game against the Nuggets, something like that.
Well,
what's their home record though? Talk to me, because if we're going to use that logic, then we have to use it on their home wins as well, and their home record is almost perfect.
Well, it's pretty good.
Who do you have out of the West?
You said you'd rather take Iverson because of his defense. Iverson played horrible defense, absolutely horrible.
Better than Kyrie.
I'll put it this way. Okay, well, let's do this. Iverson jumped the passing.
The question
listen.
Hold on. The question was, who would you rather defend?
That's who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you rather defend? Would you rather defend Iverson or Kyrie? So what they do on defense is irrelevant.
Well, you just said Iverson played, because Iverson going to play D, but I mean, he jumped the passing 15 times a game.
Yes, and Kyrie Irving didn't do that at all.
Right. So LeBron barely in the top 100 in blocks.
Yeah, you
barely
did say
in the top 100. Yeah, you said he was top 10. You barely top 100. And then just a couple other things. I think you guys should shout out. Yeah, something like that. Yes. Yeah. Just another shout out. I think y'all should. Nobody ever shouts out KG's jumper. Dude had a real nice jumper, but he's not a scorer. He didn't hit the 3. Yeah, he had a real kept it high. Nobody ever gives KG credit on how pretty his jumper was.
He's actually a better one-on-one player than people give him credit for. A lot.
Oh, I agree. But all his thing was mid-range. He couldn't post up. He couldn't hit the three. It was just mid-range. The shoulder fake, spin, turn, hit the fadeaway jumper.
That's not true. He was nice on the box. Yes, he was.
But I'm saying, where was his back down? His back down just wasn't there.
Well,
like Barkley back you down.
No, he wasn't a physical box player. He was a finesse box player.
Right. That's what I mean by that. And just shout out on a few jerseys. I think y'all missed out. The old 76ers ones. Those ones were really cool from the 70s.
Yeah, with
the ones from the 70s. That one was cold.
Fluent Junior just I don't know if it's here yet. He just ordered that because he saw one. Yeah, he's like, I have to have that. Yeah,
that one's cool.
Good taste.
Six right here, sixes across. Six right here. I like those.
The black Celtics jerseys are cold.
Oh yeah.
Especially the ones from like 08.
Any black jersey.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like the 94 alternate Suns black jersey didn't look well. They had the orange Suns, but it looked too Halloweenish.
Okay, sure.
You know what I mean? So, and then the Magic, right. And then like from like 92 to 95, the Magic and the Hornets pinstripe jerseys, the blue ones, those ones were cold too.
And teal joints. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those ones were cold.
With the
purple ones, like the purple ones for the Hornets. I think those ones were cold. So, anyways,
stripes, I'm digging those.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so you're tripping me out how you said
there's a lot of stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Other people waiting, so I don't mean to be rude, but just one topic. Let's pick it. Let's do it, and then.
Okay, let's go over this. I'm so sick and tired of people saying Kobe Bryant's a top 10 player. Okay, he's not a top 10 player all time. He's like 12 to 15. Okay, let's go through it. Hold on. Let's just go through it. And you tell me, and you'll say this is splitting hairs, but can we agree when we get to top 10, you got to split hairs?
I think you got to split hairs all the way to top 10. From 1 to 10, you got to split hairs.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I have like, a top like 18 that I'll accept the answer. I understand there's like 18 players that are like tier 1 level to me.
Open up your mind, Tone, please.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here we go. Ready?
This
Kobe.
is your flat Earth, Dave. Yeah, go.
Okay, so here we go. Kobe, he missed the playoff 20% of his career.
That's one time. Once every 5 years, he's missing the playoffs, Tone.
Right. Okay, he lost in the first round 25% of the time.
Time out. So that's not Kobe. That's his team. So we want to split hairs. I'm going to split hairs. That's his team. That's not him. Next.
Okay. He lost in the first round 25% of the time.
That's once every 4 years.
Yeah. Okay. He was swept or lost in 5 games 8 times out in the playoffs.
That's almost half his career, Tone. That's almost half his career.
That's what I'm saying.
Not him. His team. Go ahead.
You're right. You're right. Because when you have him and Shaq and you're getting swept, that's his team.
They got swept in back-to-back seasons.
That's Shaq's team.
Right. Okay. He quit on 3 teams when he got blown out in 06, 08, and 11. Just quit playing.
Don't say quit, because I'm telling you right now, you're going to cause problems when you say quit, because James is the only one who quits, right? LeBron is the only dude who quits. So nobody else quits. Nobody.
You mean when he quit shooting?
Did he walk away? Or was he on the court?
Nobody else quit.
He was on the court. Well, LeBron was on the court in 2010 then, if we're doing that. So
but LeBron didn't quit. He just sucked.
Well, a 21-18 rebound and 10 assist game while quitting.
He sucked. He didn't quit.
I'm not saying Kobe sucks. I'm not saying Kobe sucks. I'm just saying he's like 12 to 15. Okay, hold on.
And that's if you're going to compare to 2010, LeBron sucked that series. Period.
Oh, well, let's go with that, okay? Hey, so did LeBron suck in the 2011 NBA Finals when he averaged, what was it, 17, 7 on 47% shooting and 32%?
Yep.
Okay, but Kobe in the Finals 1 year averaged 15 points on 36% shooting, 20% threes, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Did he suck?
Don't stop there. Please don't stop there. Keep going, my man.
No, but I'm just saying, LeBron gets roasted for that 11.
And when he sucked. As a LeBron fan, you guys can't admit when he sucked.
Well,
first off, I'm not even a LeBron fan. So I'm not even a LeBron fan.
Comparing. That's what you're comparing. So yeah, he sucked.
So I'm just using that example because LeBron gets roasted for the 2011, and we never heard anything about those finals.
As he should.
But Kobe doesn't get roasted for it.
He does.
You left out the 04 finals when he went.
Oh, wait. I'm not even done there. I haven't got there. 04, he shot 38%. And 08, he shot 40%. LeBron's got 1 bad shooting finals. And like I said, this is not even coming from a LeBron fan. Kobe got 3. Point blank, period.
You're just comparing him to LeBron? You're comparing him to...
Well, because I hear a lot of people...
the one or two best players in the world. LeBron is one or two.
Well, I'll give you an example. Right.
That this 12 is that he doesn't match up to the second or first greatest player of all time. Yeah, he shouldn't.
Well, because
that
I know I agree with it. So, I agree with that. But see, on like podcasts like All the Smoke,
compare him to who you have at 6, 7, 8, 9.
But no, that's what I'm saying. The reason why I'm doing this is because like podcasts like All the Smoke, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes are like, you're comparing LeBron to Jordan. Well, when did he pass up Kobe? So now that I got a larger object, I'm going to use that point because people are pushing this narrative. So this is the reason why I'm saying this.
On this show, I don't believe anybody has Kobe over LeBron, correct?
No.
Including me.
Okay. So this is why I'm saying these are the reasons why he's not top 10. But these are the reasons why he's not top 10. Another one, his greatest skill was scoring. Can we all agree on that?
Sure.
Okay, I mean, we're not going to say defense, rebounding, passing. His greatest skill was scoring. Okay, he never once got to 47%. So his greatest skill, he always failed at more than he succeeded. Okay, and like Kenny Smith said, he was the only superstar from like, whatever year you want to count, 99 to 04, when he played with Shaq, they got to play one-on-one. So he didn't have to do the double, and he still could never hit half his shots. So either means he doesn't have the ability or he doesn't have the mental mindset to take good shots. There's that. 2010, game 7, with all the marbles. That's the most pressure game ever. He shot 6 for 24, 0 for 6. He had a 1-to-2 assist turnover to ratio. The only reason why they won is because the refs called it completely different in the fourth quarter. They got 21 free throw attempts to 6 free throw attempts against the Celtics. Nobody ever brings that.
Now, to be fair, he recognized that he was not having a good shooting night that night, and what he did was he went and stuck his nose in there and got on the backboard and he played defense. I believe they held the Celtics 77 points, 78 points that night. So
79. It was 83-79 was the score.
However,
let me ask you a question: is there any player in NBA history that I can't do the exact same thing for, picking out individual games or series?
Well, that's what he's talking about when he's talking about splitting hairs.
So that's what I mean by splitting hairs, though. But listen.
For everybody, correct?
Okay.
Yes,
I've never seen this stuff. Right, but I've never seen this. I've never seen this in a pivotal finals game where Kobe Bryant shot 15 free throws. The entire Celtics team shot 17. Now, you've played basketball. Have you ever been in a game where one player got fouled more than an entire team?
Yes.
I think there's situations
multiple times, and it's happened multiple times in the NBA. I bet you this guy here posting up was on the good end of that a few times. Correct, sir?
I've been to the
Thank you very much. He doesn't want to admit it because he likes what you're saying. But
no, this is But I know. Hey, listen, my man. I can listen to this all night, but we got to move on. No question about that.
Well, hey, just one other point. Yeah. When they got him as top 3, okay? When Jordan, this is in games they were eliminated, right, in the playoffs, okay? Jordan lost by an average of 11.1 when he got eliminated.
Yeah.
Bron got 11.5, and Kobe got eliminated by 19.3. But he never quit on a team.
So he got smoked.
He got smoked every time he loses by 40, by 30, by 25. And that's what I'm saying. So anybody that thinks Kobe's in the top 10, he's not 12 to 15. If you were a GM, said, hey, you draft this guy, be the 12 to 15 greatest player all time, guaranteed, everybody's drafting him number 1. It's not a knock on him. He's just not number 10.
I got him anywhere between 7 and 12. That's where I got him at 11. But anyway, if you say anywhere between 7 and 12, I'm cool with that. Like when you're telling me he's the second best or the third best player, I'm good. No, I'm not listening to that.
Oh yeah, and again, I'm not going to argue because I don't have him that high either. As the second, I have him at 5. I believe he's legitimately can be 6, 7, 8, or
not 9. Not over Timmy.
Hold on. I have him 5. I admittedly say, as my favorite player of all time, I have him higher than if he wasn't my favorite player all time. Yeah. But he's definitely top 10. I don't have all the time to give you all the reasons why. So we appreciate you coming on and sharing your reasons.
All right, brother.
But
you came prepared.
Do that for
Thank you.
You told me you know your stuff. You absolutely do that. So thank you. We'll have you back on for sure. Another time.
Yes, we will.
Take it easy, y'all.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, thanks, brother. Hey, real quick, let me address Mr. Famous Husky in the comments. Mr. Famous Husky talks about Mr. Famous Husky talks about Kobe had, I'm sorry, he talks about James had 8 points against JJ Barrera. Just so you know, Mr. Famous Husky, James is not the only player who had 8 points in the NBA Finals game. Kobe, not only did he have 8 points in 2000 in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, it was the second worst loss in the history of the Los Angeles Lakers. They got blown out. I just want to put that on your mind. So he's not the only one who had 8 points in the NBA Finals game. As you were saying, Tone. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add in that, when a player plays for 20 seasons, goes to 9 NBA Finals.
Yes, sir.
9 NBA Finals. I can pick
7 and 9 years, Tone, something like that, like 7 and 9 years.
I can 1,000,000% pick and choose spots to make him sound horrible or make him sound great. So yes, when he clearly has an agenda to prove.
Yes.
And you can do that, but I can do the exact same.
Not the point, Rufus. That's not the point. That's not the point.
Jordan,
knock it off.
I can do the exact same thing for Kareem.
Right.
I can do the exact same thing for. I literally can make that case. So there's nothing there that was news.
Yeah.
All those things are true, but you can literally do that for everybody, and that's why you have to look at the totality. Because if you nitpick, sure.
But I mean, when it comes down to debating somebody like you, I mean, he had good points, and you guys could probably go back and forth for hours and hours.
Sure, and listen, and I've always said this. Unlike my man over here, I don't have the memory. I have the memories. I don't have. I have to. I do need 5-10 minutes to gather my thoughts.
Right.
He was writing down all that stuff.
I had no idea what he was going to talk about. He clearly came in ready, and he did ready for our show. So I love that. That was 100% credit for that.
Yes,
I love just so we know, for anybody else who wants to come on, I love that. I love people coming on ready because sometimes, hey, I just want to say hi.
No, man, you know what you're talking about. Bring it.
Bring it. Loved it. Yes. Mar, what's up?
What's good, Fluent? I wanted to hear what your guys' thoughts were on between the Celtics and the Bucks, what you guys thought, because we all know that's pretty much what's going to happen unless the 76ers, I know you said earlier in the show that that's your dark horse, Fluent. I kind of want to hear your logic on that too, because you didn't really expand on it. But mainly between the Bucks and the Celtics, what are your guys' thoughts?
I think we all picked the Bucks early because I think they're the most talented team and they have the best player on their team. So I think if the Bucks are healthy, the Celtics are still, and this is my issue with Tatum. I know Heat Chill loves Tatum. Hailey hates Tatum. I'm somewhere in the middle with Tatum. I don't love him as much as Chill. I don't hate him as much as Hailey. He's still inconsistent for me. He's still inconsistent, especially when he falls in love with that three. I think a couple games ago he shot like 17 threes, and they'll lose. And so if I'm picking Bucks and Celtics, I'm picking Bucks only because if healthy, I know that's a big if, but if healthy, that's the team that I think wins out between the two, because I still think it may never change that Tatum Brown. There's an inconsistency that I think they can fall in love with, and I don't love their coach.
My stance,
I don't love this coach they have. So
my stance is I think it's pretty equal with the rotation guys. I think it's pretty equal when you come to their, not just their bench, but their starting five. When you come to their big guy in the middle, I think at the end of the day, this series is going to come down to my best player is better than your best player. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks got the best player in the series.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm on the same place, but I have a question for you. Do you guys think that somebody said that they might not respect the new coach as much as Ime Udoka? Do you guys agree with that?
I completely disagree.
Yeah, that doesn't even play a part.
Well, he was on I believe he was on a bench last year. So all he did was move over one season. It's not like they so it's not like they got a new guy this year. No, it's the same dude from last year. And he basically implemented the same system from last year that they do this year. So it's not
just expanded upon it.
That's all he did. It looks like the same thing.
I'll say that he seems weird to me. In the set, I don't know. It just I tape my mouth shut when I sleep.
Yeah.
It's there's these
said some weird stuff.
I feel like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't feel that he does the same things as Ime did. Maybe some of those things are good off the court, but I think it's different. And I think Ime had understood that team better than he does, even though he was on the bench.
We got Bucks coming out though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucks coming out. And just sorry to answer your question, Philadelphia, because listen, I think Joel Embiid is a legit MVP candidate, and I think he can dominate this league. So it would take him being like, hey, I'm taking this over for them to do that. So if he does that, and if there's a lot of ifs, if Harden plays a type of ball control facilitator that we know he can and shows up in the playoffs, like I know people say he hasn't in the past, but if he plays that way, and I really like Maxey and Tobias is Tobias is knocking down shots. It all still rests on Embiid. If Embiid can play like his absolute best, that's why they're a dark horse, because a lot of things have to go right.
Yep.
And as of late, the Sixers have been more healthy than the Bucks and the Celtics, considering Middleton's been out. He's just coming back. Giannis has been out recently. He hasn't played in a few games, actually. I'm kind of wondering when he's coming back. Rob Williams just went out again. He's out.
I don't
again.
know what's up with that. He didn't play. I mean, they smoked Portland last night. I watched that game. They smoked Portland. He didn't play last night neither. I'm trying to understand what the story is with him and why he hasn't been in the rotation.
A lot of injuries going on.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about
injuries? That'll always have a play a role.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys touched on Ja, but not mainly Ja. But what do you guys think about the Grizzlies? I heard that he's supposed to be coming back after the 4 games that they just put in place. So thoughts on like what the Grizzlies are going to look like moving forward as a team?
I think keeping him away from this crew is good for them right now, but I think getting him back, I mean, they are a better team with him in the lineup. They could be a second round. I think they could be a semifinals team, maybe even a Western Conference Finals team. But I think that this dynamic with what's going on with Ja, I think that could ultimately screw them up in terms of team chemistry.
There you go.
I think they're a ticking time bomb, kind of.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
No, they are.
Good point. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Good to talk to you.
Just quickly to Linnell in the chat, dude. If you're listening to Dub and Mookie about basketball, you got a problem. Tyler, right?
What up?
Is it Taylor or Tyler? Tyler.
Yeah.
What's up?
How you doing? I was gonna get on this flat Earth thing, but I have to. I have to make a couple points about Chill. You cannot say anything when it comes down to the 2000 finals with Kobe Bryant when Jalen Rose hurt him.
He played. I don't want to hear that, yo. I don't want to hear that.
facts.
And the reason why I don't want to hear that, the reason why I don't want to hear that is because you guys praised when Jordan was the flu game. You guys praised that. So I'm not listening to the injuries. I'm not trying to hear that. He was on the floor. I'm not trying to hear that. He sat out the game before that. He sat out the game before that. If you are on the floor, you ready to go. That's what it is. If you step on the floor, you are ready to go.
Okay,
so,
but are we
I'm not trying to hear that. The first thing y'all do when it comes to Jordan, the first thing you do when it comes to Jordan, yo, he played with the flu. He played almost passed out.
But you know that was this. So, give me a
break.
And the flu is very different than an injury.
Yeah, those aren't
very different than it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to even mention
Thomas limping around on one leg. You weren't expecting him to do the same thing that he did when he was healthy.
Yeah, and I'm not going to even mention the time that LeBron got carried off the floor because he had cramps. I'm not.
Yeah. But actually, you should mention that. You know why you should mention that is because he did hit the go-ahead shot in Game 4 when the game was in balance against Oklahoma City in the NBA Finals with cramps. But you don't mention that.
He needed to drink more water.
Yes, he did.
So tell me about flat Earth. I don't care about this.
Okay. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I want to say that I could prove 100%. I mean, I don't know if you guys are like
Earth is flat.
100%.
100%.
Holy.
Because
can I just pause you for a second? Hold on, just before we do that, I want to put this out to everybody in the chat and everyone that's still watching. We've lost a few people, but listen, next week when Flat Earth Dave comes on, he has a challenge that he will, I believe it's 2 or 3 Bitcoin, which I believe are, I don't know if they're still worth, it like used to be worth a lot of money. If you can prove that the Earth is round.
He'll give me Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I believe him?
Yeah. No, well, if you convince him that the Earth is round. But sorry, go ahead. Tell me why it's flat.
Okay, so we live in a Christian nation, right?
Yes, we do.
Christian values and everything. So the one place I want to go to is actually the Bible. If you actually go to Genesis 1:7, it said on a certain day, the Lord made the firmament. If you actually look up on Google what a firmament is a flat earth. with it has a sphere above it.
Yeah.
And so if you actually look at, Genesis, actually God said himself, hey, I made a firmament, and a firmament is actually a flat earth, and it actually has it's like a dome above it, and then it has the sun, moon, stars, and all existing reality that you can see on telescopes inside that dome.
Okay, can I pause you for a second and ask you a question?
Yeah.
And then we have to move on to the next person, because this I need you back. I need you to come back next week.
Yeah.
I need you to come back next week. But let me ask you a question. Genesis, you said that was in Genesis
1:7 through 9.
When was that written?
When was Genesis was written about 3,500 years ago.
And how many years after this happened?
What do you mean? Like how many? What do you mean?
Like when I read things from the Bible, it's like, oh, this was written like 1,000 years AD.
Yeah.
Oh, how many years?
It was okay. So it was about, I would say about 1,500 BC.
Okay.
So that's when Moses is the one that wrote it.
Right. Okay.
And God basically showed Moses how he made the earth and everything like that. And Moses wrote it all down. And he did Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. And he actually said that he made the firmament. And then if you actually go on Google right now and type in firmament, it would actually.
That's what it is? Okay. This is perfect for next week. I just want to remind people a human being wrote something 1,000 years after the fact, and your roommate probably can't get a message right 5 minutes after it happens. So I'm just putting that out.
But yeah, bring it next week. We'll get into it.
Come back next week. 100%. 100% come back next week.
Oh yeah, but 1 second.
It's firmament, you said? Because I do want to look it up.
Firmament.
Yeah. It's called a firmament. And I also want to debate Low on that one thing the disrespectful thing he said that Jokic was a better playmaker than Kobe.
I'm so over that.
Crazy. We can all just say crazy.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Legend of lies.
Good to talk to you, brother.
See you next week, man. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I cut you off. I hit the click button too fast. I'm sorry. That is rude. My bad. No, I know. I like people say have a pause after the bye.
Yeah.
Brian, what's up?
Hey, man. 97, 2015. LeBron's not even a debate. It's LeBron. It's not even a debate.
All right. It's not a debate.
No, because how can you not factor in the fact that he had no Kyrie and no Love for the entire finals, and he averaged 36?
That's cool. That's great, and he lost.
You just had the win.
I'm not even on the fact of what he did in the playoffs.
Trophies out.
See, here we go.
It doesn't matter.
That logic doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't matter the team you're on. Doesn't matter the team you face. None of that matters.
Nope.
So are we not taking into consideration?
If you're giving me specific, this player or this player, one won the championship, one lost, I'm taking the win every time.
That's fair.
That
is fair.
So Bill Russell.
No. It
just depends, though.
No, I said if you're giving me one season versus one season.
Okay.
I didn't say career. I said if you give me one season versus one season, and I have to pick a player, and one player was phenomenal, all defensive, MVP, won a chip, and the other had his two best players not there, and he lost in the final. I'm taking the one that won. I'm taking the one that won in that one specific scenario.
Do you think that LeBron wins that series if both those players are there?
Listen, I don't think LeBron wins the series.
The team win the series.
Of course, because the Cavs are a better team than the Warriors in 15. They're a better team than in the 16. The Cavs are a better team when healthy.
So why don't you apply that logic when we talk about careers then? So we're going to talk about careers. You got if you're going to use one type of logic in one scenario, you got to use it everywhere else. So when you talk about
I don't, because it's a different scenario. Like just the same way when I look at careers, it's different than when I look at peak because it's different. Because someone's career is typically very different than their peak.
But you compared 97 to 2015 LeBron, right? And all you cared about was the end result.
No, that's not true. What I said was, if I have a guy who was the leading scorer, an MVP, I added. You didn't hear any of that stuff, right? I said if he's all those things and he wins versus another guy. So two guys who played great. One guy had more accolades and won a chip. The other guy had great statistics but lost. I'm taking the guy that had all the stats, all the accolades, and won over the guy that had great stats and lost.
First of all, I hate MVPs as an argument because I think Jordan and LeBron could have won more. A lot of people died in 2013. Sure. LeBron could have won MVP, so I'm not even going to look at that. I'm going to look at what you did play-wise. What you did play-wise, who was on your team, right? But if you're only going to look at the end result, then Bill Russell's the GOAT. If we're compare careers, because if all you care about is titles and results, then why is he not the GOAT? Why is Kareem not the? Why are these guys not the GOAT? Kareem got more MVPs, right? He's got 6.
There's other factors that go into it. Okay. Kareem has more MVPs, but he doesn't have the same amount of Finals MVPs.
True, but
he's not the defender that Jordan is. He doesn't have. Even when you look at his 20 years, Jordan has more accolades. Jordan has better stats. Jordan was a better scorer. Jordan was a better defender. Jordan was a better passer. So
Jordan averaged 3 more points on a worse field goal percentage. He had 10 scoring titles. I hate the 10 scoring titles argument because he averaged
3 more points on virtually the same. You're talking about a difference of 8%. It's not even 1% difference.
It's the same. Is my point. It's pretty much the same. So people say scoring titles.
But how many more 3-pointers did LeBron shoot in his era?
So averaged like 6 more assists in his career. So he has 3. He takes 3. He has 3 points.
2 more assists
in his career.
Yeah, in his career, 2 more assists. Jordan
got that right here. Actually, hold on.
LeBron is 7. Jordan's 5 something.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're pretty much the
same. 97. Jordan in the finals averaged. You were saying LeBron 36. Jordan averaged in a lower scoring era 33, 7, and 6 with a steal and a block. And he's a better free throw shooter. He shot 32% from 3, which isn't great, but good for that era. So again, those 2 guys are close, statistically close, and the one guy won and the other didn't. That's it. That's all that matters.
How can you not stack? For example, Jordan had. It's not case closed because Jordan had no injuries on his team. He had his team. He didn't have to deal with his second and third best player not being on his team. So I don't understand how you can't factor that in.
Because one lost and one won. I'm not giving him an award for losing. It's not happening. He's not getting it. Oh. He fought well. He put up points. Awesome. Just like I don't give credit when Jordan got swept by the Celtics. Do you hear me saying? Oh yeah, we got to give him credit for that. No, he lost. That's it. He played really great. His team was garbage, but he lost. So if I'm going to pick 85 Jordan, and you give me someone who put up similar statistics and won, I'm going to take the guy that won. If everything else is close, let's be clear. If everything else is close. Okay.
All right.
One more thing. When it comes to comparing Jordan and LeBron, right? Again, this is going to be an argument you don't like, but the teams LeBron ended up playing for, let's take 17, 18 Warriors, and let's take those Spurs teams. They're better than any team Jordan played in the 90s. Period.
Okay. I love this when we're picking and choosing select things. Was the 73-9 Warriors team good?
Yeah, they were very good. They hadn't lost.
Why do you say they were good? Why do you say they were good? Because of their record, right? Because if they won 40 games, you wouldn't say they were good, correct?
Why do I say they're good? Because their play show. They didn't lose. I'll give you several reasons why they're good. They didn't lose 3
consecutive. If they won 40 games, would they be good?
They would be a worse team. Yeah, if they obviously.
You hold them to high regard because they won 73 games, correct?
That's one of the factors. It's not the only factor.
Okay. So when you say the competition he played, Jordan's teams that he beat in the finals averaged more wins than LeBron's.
No, I'm talking overall.
Wins matter. Wins matter. What you're trying to do is create a false narrative, which is, well, if this team hypothetically went back in time and played that team, the Warriors played the Jazz, they'd win. Sure,
I didn't say the 16 Warriors. I didn't bring them up.
Well, whoever you want to pick.
I didn't say the 16 Warriors. I said the 18 Warriors. No, I never said the 16 Warriors. I said the 17, 18.
Which team did you pick?
I said the 17, 18 Warriors and the Spurs. I didn't bring up the 16 Warriors because so LeBron's got 4 rings, right? He's got 4 rings.
Allegedly.
In 2018, he had that was the worst playoff team I've ever seen. Period. They were
worse than the 07 team that he was on. They were not.
I'll prove my point. He was averaging 35.
They were worse than the 81 Rockets.
Yeah, they were not.
35 points going into the finals. The next best on his team was Kevin Love at 13 points per game. That's the worst gap in the NBA since 19.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Even if they're not the worst team, they're top 3 worst playoff team ever, right?
Sure. Bad team.
He then had to go into the finals and play a team that had 2 MVPs in their prime, 4 All-Stars, and Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan had in the 90s, he had never dealt with he never missed any of his teammates. He never was on a bad playoff team. In fact, in 94, Pippen had 2 less wins than Jordan did without him. He never dealt with a bad team. The 90s had an expansion era, meaning the league
I love the expansion.
Down.
All right. So did the Pistons hold on, pause for a second. Did the Pistons championships count?
The Pistons in 80. Yeah. The expansion period.
Let me ask you a different question. Have you ever said the Pistons don't really count because they won their back-to-back championships when 4 new teams were introduced to the NBA? Have you ever said that?
No, I didn't say. I didn't say they didn't count.
Expansion bullshit out. Two. Those expansion teams were making the playoffs 2 years after they came into the league. The expansion era is a BS argument. Period.
Because the Miami Heat were in the playoffs in '92. That was 4 years after they showed up.
Those teams.
Yeah, but those 4 first years are building here. So teams, the best teams compete on the new expansion teams because those new expansion teams have to build. That's my point. So all those expansion
teams. Those new expansion teams.
Hold on for a second, Tone. Hoop Life, you are the goofiest logic in here, right? None of your stuff that you coming up with is original. Everything that you're saying in the chat is regurgitated. The participation trophy, that ain't something that you made up. That's some garbage that you heard on television. This whole could Jordan beat the 2011 Mavericks? That ain't something that you made up. That's something that you heard on television. Get your goofy ass logic together.
Why don't you like it?
Because I'm so sick of these dudes who come in here with this regurgitated logic and they don't come up with nothing original. I'm tired of these dudes. And then they try to tell us that we don't know the game. Get your ass out of here.
So the expansion thing is this. You're saying the expansion teams had to get better. They got better faster than most. They were in the Magic were in the finals in '95. How fast did they get better? So there were players outside of the NBA that were good, that were brought in, and those teams weren't bad. And when you look at the records, of the worst records of all time, go look at the worst records of all time. I'll start with the top 10. Okay, when you look at the worst records of all time, 4 of them were in years that LeBron won a chip or was in the finals, and they were all in the East. There's another 4 during the expansion era with the Bulls, and they were all in the West. And you know why that's relevant? Because that means LeBron got to play those guys 6 or 7 times in a year, and Jordan played those shitty teams twice because they were in the West. So the expansion era versus the load management ranking era, it cancels itself out. So it's
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with that. I'm not talking about the Eastern ones. I'm talking about specifically his final opponents are better than any team Jordan played in the 90s. Those Warriors teams,
I'm telling you, but they had better records, and that matters, and higher seeds.
Okay, so
and you know what else? He didn't lose to any of them.
Hold on, that's first team.
If you want to nitpick, well, LeBron was a favorite in 2011 and lost. Period.
I'm with you on that. But if you take 17 and 18, for example, right? Those 2 Warriors teams, I don't even know how you debate this, are better than any team Jordan played in the 90s.
Sure. Did LeBron beat them?
No.
So it's a moot point. If he beat them, you had an argument. He lost to them. So big deal. LeBron lost them and lose to them. Cool. I won't even argue it. They both lose to them, so it means nothing.
Okay.
It means nothing if they both would lose to them. I don't agree. But let's say that he didn't beat them. So to say that his finals opponents were better, but he lost to them, and Jordan would lose to them too. Cool. So they both lose to them. So it's better or worse.
If you put LeBron on that bull, and it's a hypothetical, of course, but you put LeBron on I think he wins 6 rings too. I'm sorry. I think he wins the same amount.
Because that's your narrative that you're trying to push. And you know what? I think
against it. I wanted him.
Fine. And I think if you put Jordan on all of LeBron's teams, he goes better than 4 and 6.
Which ones is okay? He wins 11, right?
He's 4 and 6. 100% he wins 11. That's all he has to do. Done.
Does he win 07?
He only has to win 1 more.
Which one does he win that LeBron didn't win?
That's it. He can lose all the other ones. He wins more than LeBron.
I don't think he gets to the finals in 18.
Doesn't matter.
Because he lost.
Because he lost.
The Warriors in
He lost. It doesn't matter. He lost.
The 16. I don't think he beats
Who else we got, Tone? Hey, thanks, brother. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
No
Brian,
doubt,
man.
my man. We appreciate you. Who else we got?
Or did that go too long? My bad.
No, we good. No, we good. It's good to get it's good to get into the it's good to get the fans into. I'm not even gonna get into this. I'm not even gonna get into this. I'm gonna let y'all dudes talk. Y'all ain't sucking me into this. Y'all not.
Can I first? I need to start by saying something really. I mentioned on the panel, I believe, or on this show, I forget when. It's June 17th, by the way, that Synced Digital, that's my digital marketing company, and the youth basketball team, the GTA Mavericks, that we're doing a shoe drive. We're gonna get thousands of shoes. We're partnered with Giants of Africa, which is the Masai Ujiri, if you don't know, here in Toronto, the Raptor 905, the Toronto Raptors, and Mavericks Marketing, which is the team, the youth team is the GTA Mavericks. And I said, we're doing a shoe drive. And I want to shout out Elder, dude, because Elder was 5 seconds in, was like, dude, here. And we're not even taking donations yet. And so I want to thank you in front of everybody, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's going to be happening June 17th. I'll give you guys more details when that time comes, but I wanted to say that to you first. Sorry. What's up?
No problem. Love the children, man. Always trying to support the children. I don't know how y'all deal with stuff like that, bro. I mean, that's why I got to do Ask Elder. I can't deal with all that back and forth, all the hypotheticals and all that crazy crap. I just can't do it, man. I don't have the patience for it. I missed the first part. I was doing a show over here with Ticket, with the coach and all this stuff. But I'd like to get y'all, take your priority, gave it, but I wanted to hear your take on the West, because I got pressed last week. Like, give me your picks on the West. Give me your picks. And I wouldn't give anybody any picks. I said, look, the East, I'm comfortable because it's kind of been a little more consistent. Not as many people hurt. And I gave my picks what I said for the East. I wouldn't give a pick for the West because I said, man, the West is too volatile this year. It's too up and down. You just don't know what'll happen. And then here you go. Memphis blows up. Phoenix is blowing up with the injuries. Luka's still hurt. B.I. gets hurt. You know what I mean? It's just like all the teams that are vying got something going on. Besides Denver. Denver's been the only one consistent in the West, in my personal opinion, all year. Well, I guess San Antonio has been consistently losing too. But I don't think anybody trusts Denver. I don't know anyone that trusts Denver.
I do. I do.
To win, hold on. To win
now,
you trust Denver?
As opposed to everybody else. As opposed to everybody else, I think they're the only team in the West that got a legit shot at getting past the Warriors. Because the other crews in the West, not only that,
the Warriors.
Elder could appreciate this, but I'm starting to get sucked in again with that team in Los Angeles. I can't believe I'm saying it, Elder, but I'm starting to get sucked in because that team with Anthony Davis.
Which team?
He know who I'm talking about. That team with Anthony Davis. They're only gonna go as far as his health can take them. But damn, he looking good, B. He looking like if he could hold up, and he can just hold up. He doesn't have to hold up for 6 months. He does not have to do that. If he can hold up for just a little while longer, he's proven that he could get a team to the playoffs. He's proven that in the past. And he's also proven that when he's got another dynamic player aside him and he's healthy, he can play at a championship level. He's proven that. So at this particular time, that Laker team, I'm not on the hook yet, Elder, but I'm actually taking phone calls. We ain't going out on a date yet, but I'm taking phone calls. I am picking up the phone.
Going on. Here's what's cool.
I am picking up the phone.
About the West. Here's what's really cool about the West. It's so close, and I think you're right. There isn't one team that you're honestly, when you say trust, like I'm putting all my money on that. You're not doing that with any of them, and I think that's what's amazing is that literally the team that just gets hot at the end of the season is healthy. There's going to be a team. It could just as well be the Kings. I can't believe I'm saying that, as it is the Lakers, the Warriors, the Nuggets. Like if any team just is healthy and hot, because we know the Clippers on paper are great, but let's be honest, are they going to be healthy? Are they going to be fit Phoenix now with KD, are they going to be healthy? Are they going? They've had no time to play together.
Russ looks pretty good with that Clipper team too, man.
He does, but you don't know. Russ could go Russ on them.
Well, he's gonna go Russ. That we all know that. He's gonna throw the ball in the second row. That's
He's gonna go Russ.
We know that. I don't think that's a conversation.
Goal.
He's gonna
Russ
do
is
that.
fool's goal.
We all know that.
We know the Warriors if healthy. We know the Warriors if healthy. Hey, when they're all together, they go to the finals. But Curry could roll an ankle. Clay could, there's a million things that could happen. Jordan Poole could, not hit Draymond Green when he's wide open and Draymond Green punch him in the face again. Like, so much could happen. So literally any team from 1 to 9 can make a run right now because they're so tight. I love it. I love it.
That's why I'm still standing on the logic. The East winner, which I think is going to be Milwaukee, I think they smoke whoever comes out the West.
Yeah.
I think they smoke them.
I think if they're healthy, it could be competitive, whoever it is. Again, the East has been a little more consistent in my opinion. The West, man, I don't know why you got I don't trust Golden State. I'm not sure why you do. I understand the pedigree. I understand the championships and stuff they won. They're not the same team, though. And they got some glaring issues that playoff teams, you don't advance deep in the playoffs with these issues. When you can't win road games, bro, you don't advance in the playoffs deep. When your bench is not reliable, you don't win and advance deep in the playoffs.
No,
I don't trust Golden State because those are two main things they got going on.
Hold on. Let me just say, one, to anyone in the chat that says any player didn't play anyone, you're a moron and don't know the history of basketball. But two, you don't need a very deep bench in the playoffs because the rotation does tighten up. If you can go 8, 9.
See, it's not like when we came up with Phil Jackson and Pat Riley where they went 10, 11 guys.
You threw in the word deep. I don't think I said deep. I just said
the bench wasn't deep.
I said I said I don't. If that bench is not reliable, you're not making a deep run.
So
you're not making a deep run.
So if you're asking about the bench,
and I don't think their bench. I don't think Golden State bench is reliable. I really don't.
Okay. You're right. I did hear that.
I don't trust Phoenix's depth, and I don't trust their health.
I'm good on Phoenix.
Who's their Clippers? Of course, I don't trust them. Yeah, I'm out on Phoenix. Yeah.
I wasn't in on
KD,
even when they got
that injury he has, I think it came from possibly him coming back too early. It's so flukish, but you saw the ankle hit the floor. I think he's going to be out longer probably because you want to be more cautious. He's just coming back off injury.
Well, Elder, answer this question for me.
You're rushing back out there. You're going to do it again.
So answer this question for me, Elder. Even let's just say for the sake of argument, KD was healthy. Like, do you really trust Phoenix with him getting on the crew 20 games left in the regular season and then having to go to the playoffs with Chris Paul? Do you trust them do you really trust them to make a deep run in the playoffs with that going on?
I wanted to see him because I thought their defense would be horrible. I thought their defense would be horrible, but I watched a couple games before KD played, and I was surprised with the guys they had left, some of the defensive dudes that stepped up. So when you add KD and the guys that came, I said, I want to see this because they got everything from guards. They had wings that I didn't realize that they still had that could play, and they got big men. So I wanted to see Phoenix. But with no KD, you can forget it. No KD, you can forget it. Yeah. And I don't trust the Clippers. I don't trust their leadership from coach to players. Who else? I don't trust Sacramento because they're strictly offense. They cannot get a critical stop when they got to get one, and they're young and they have no playoff experience. I mean,
that's the thing that bothers me about Sacramento.
I don't trust Minnesota. I'm trying to go through all of them. I don't trust Minnesota. They're not mature enough. I watch Minnesota. They're not mature enough, and I think they're first round bounce. From what I'm seeing, I think they got good D, but it's undisciplined at times. I'm bouncing them in the first round. I really like the Lakers, but they got to get healthy. I think the Lakers got a full balance. Not without LeBron, though. You don't have LeBron. I don't expect you to win anything. If he's not healthy, you're not going to get able to do it. Who else is there? Portland, I don't even think they're going to make it. Portland's got a ridiculous schedule for the next 6 games, and I think that's going to end their series if they go 1-5 or 0-6. I don't see Portland making it. I don't trust the Pelicans. I don't trust the Pelicans. I don't trust them. They can't stay healthy.
Bob has entered the chat and said the Sacramento Kings going to the final. Okay, so guys, I brought these.
Big Ox came out the grassy knoll on us.
You know how Big Ox is.
I want to hear what you two guys have to say. Don't get me wrong. I want to hear what you two guys have to say. Let me just make sure I get your names here. Who are you? P5 and Sebastian. But just quickly, because I have a streak going on with super chats, so I'm just going to quickly do a speed round of super chats. I'm just going to ask Hailey or Jay. What do you think Halliburton stealing Jay Quick?
I think he's an all-star and possibly an all-NBA performer.
Nice. Christopher, all-time starting 5 Seattle Supersonics versus Oklahoma Thunder. Who wins a 7-game series? Hailey, because you're in the Pacific Northwest.
All-time starting 5 Supersonics versus Oklahoma City.
We're talking like Gary
Sonics.
Payton, Sean Kemp, Sonics. Really? Oh, I'd say okay.
Johnson, easy, yeah.
All right, Mr. E. Greatest sport movie of all time is Shaolin Soccer.
I haven't heard it.
Okay, I'm writing it down, Mr. E. I'm going to go watch it. Eric Spolstra says, "Who is Bradley Beal's player comparison?" Jay.
That's random.
Basketball or NFL?
Bradley Beal.
Washington Wizards.
Like his NFL comparison or?
Oh no! It just says his player comparison. It didn't say NFL.
Bradley Beal's player comparison.
I mean, Jerry Stackhouse.
No.
I just heard that one before. I didn't watch him.
He wasn't the athlete that Jerry Stackhouse was, and he wasn't the one-on-one player that Jerry Stackhouse was neither.
Gilbert Arenas.
I'd say me, because all he does is shoot and plays no D. Who would you? I told you it was speed round, guys. You didn't answer fast enough. Who would you take 1v1? Giannis with Olajuwon's post moves, or Tim Duncan with LeBron's athleticism?
Giannis with Olajuwon's post moves.
Tim Duncan.
I take Duncan with LeBron's.
Have you ever seen? Have you? This is what I want you to do. I want you to sit down and forget highlights. I need you to go watch Hakeem Olajuwon offensively. For you dudes that don't know,
he just said his post moves.
Exactly. Go watch this dude on the box. Go watch Hakeem Olajuwon on the box. It was poetry in motion.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. I'm trying to tell you something. He was impossible.
You're killing the speed round. This guy is a clown. He's not adding any context to anything he's saying. He's clearly talking about one of the guests.
Talking about the LeBron thing.
Yes. I wish I saw the guy who called him like, I don't know, something. Warriors, Christopher D. Warriors have a 1 in 4 odds of winning away games. They've lost 3 straight games. If they keep following the playoffs, they gonna play more away games in every series, and I don't like those odds. Haley, do you agree?
No, I mean the odds don't lie, but I'm just if we get Wiggins back, it's wraps. Sorry.
Oh, Warrior fan. Okay.
We still have Gary Payton II and Wiggins coming back, and Steph literally just got back. So
yeah, Warriors all the way. Warriors.
I got a little faith.
And they say Kemp not the shooter.
None of that matters. The charges got dropped. He was
doesn't matter.
Charges got dropped.
Hashtag free Kemp. So Chill just compared an injured Kobe. Okay, we talked about this already.
Yes, we did.
An injured Kobe to a prime LeBron. He doesn't care that you're injured. Y'all forgot Jimmy Brooks, aka Aubrey Drake Graham from Degrassi, TV GOAT. He washes MJ in a 1v1. MJ would put him back in that damn wheelchair. Get out of here. Chill talking about Kobe in 2000 finals while ignoring the fact that he shouldn't have even been playing after he hurt his foot ankle in game 2, the same finals that Kobe had to carry them after Shaq fouled out in game 4. Facts, Frank. Facts.
That is fact.
Facts. Double P. The planets in outer space are actually stars. That's what I just said.
Yes,
Look at Venus with a telescope. It's very bright. Don't believe me? Look up the etymology.
I was actually thinking about getting a telescope, Tone. I wasn't sure about it. I might have to.
I think you should, because are you in a part of Florida that do you have a light ordinance or no?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's good. You can see this. I lived in for a minute. I lived in Tucson, Arizona. There are no street lights. You could literally it was beautiful at night, and thunderstorms gorgeous because they had this real heavy light ordinance. It was fantastic.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Jump in.
Have you ever seen a Florida Atlantic University?
Have I ever seen Florida Atlantic University? I've been down there a couple times. Sure.
I go there.
You go there. They got a damn good basketball team. They're in the top 25 this year. They're going to the tournament this year. Yeah, I think they're going to the tournament this year. They got a good team, yo. They got a real good team. Why don't you
go do some sideline reporting for us?
Yeah.
Shout out them.
Come on, Chill. I like
down to FAU.
Hey, Fluent. Fluent.
I'll be there Friday
Can you
night.
see this? Can you see this? Live reporting from Florida Atlantic, I'm Jermaine Womack. Today, we got a great matchup against the North Carolina Tar Heels.
They already got a guy.
Hey, Fluent.
Yo, what up?
Hey, I asked Chill this question too. I don't like debating on shows like this, but I asked Chill this question too. Can I get your like basketball career? Like
my career?
And can I get like a timeline, like years and?
Oh, okay. So I played high school basketball in Toronto at Pickering from 90 to 94.
Okay.
No, 89 to 93. Then I was at West Virginia for a year and a half. And then I was in Greece for a year and a half.
And that was it?
I spent all my time in the training room injured.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
With a lot of tape.
Also, I wanted to name kind of 5 players, and you guys tell me if they're in the Hall of Fame or not. If you think, like, if they continue on their current trajectory and, you know, they decline normally or whatnot. But I think some of these players are already kind of at the end. Kyle Lowry.
No.
But you said he's the greatest Raptor, Fluent.
That doesn't mean he's a Hall of Famer. I think Pau Gasol's phenomenal. He shouldn't have had his numbers retired for a Laker. He's not a great Laker to get his number retired.
You got
what? Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Got the Lakers.
What about?
But you know how? Hold on. But you know how I feel about numbers being retired.
Yes, I do know that too.
What about DeMar?
I'm strict. DeMar Hall of Fame, yes.
Yes.
DeMar DeRozan?
Yeah.
I know it's not first ballot, Elder. Don't. I think you hear Hall of Fame and you think first ballot. No, it's not like that. And again, Elder.
No, I because I know the basketball is everything. It's college and international. You know, I just don't remember him doing anything on any of those other levels except the NBA. And he's pretty much just been a decent scorer the whole time. But that's it. He hasn't won.
He made the All NBA team a couple times.
I think it's
did he make it a couple times?
Yeah, made the All NBA team a couple times. Scored over 20.
I just it's hard to respect the basketball Hall of Fame. It's just so many people in there, man.
And that's why I said yes.
It's actually not, to be honest with you. I think it's only 117 NBA players in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
What about LaMarcus Aldridge?
No.
That's tough.
Hold on a second. So we think DeMar DeRozan gonna make it, but not LaMarcus Aldridge?
Yeah, he's getting in. LaMarcus Aldridge is getting in. Yes, he is.
If DeMar DeRozan getting in, DeMarcus Aldridge definitely getting in.
He's getting in. No doubt about that.
Well, what about Blake Griffin?
No.
All right, I was worried I was gonna say yes for a second. And last one, Kyrie.
Yes.
All right, that's fine. That's for sure.
He shouldn't.
And to kind of touch on the Western Conference, it is wide open, but let's be honest, it's not a 1 through 9 race. It's like I think there's 3 legit teams that can make a run, maybe 4 if you want to say the Lakers. I think that's the Nuggets, Warriors, Suns, and Lakers.
If you want to say the Lakers,
because some people are kind of on the edge about them because of where they are in the standings compared to what their team actually looks like. So I think there's like 4 teams that can make a run, and I think it's the Nuggets, Warriors, Suns, and Lakers. If
so the Suns without KD, because KD out.
If healthy.
I got you. Okay.
Okay, quick, and then we'll get to Chill. Who's better passer, Kid or Stockton? Kid has 2 Ds, by the way. Cloverill. Kid has 2 Ds. Go ahead.
Stockton.
I didn't watch either.
Stockton's a better career passer. Kid is the flashier, more difficult passer. Comatose. That's how I feel right now. Many people say foreigners are dominating the league. Is that a fair assessment, seeing as only one foreign superstar has took a championship team to win a chip in the last 10 years?
So is that the standard, or are we talking about the best players in the game? Because the top 3 players in the game, you can make an argument, are foreigners. That's Luka, Giannis, and Joker, and Embiid. So that's 4 guys.
And then there's other guys like Pascal Siakam. You've got.
I would say that this whole foreigners thing is stupid, and you should stop saying it. We're all citizens of the earth. Basketball is an international game.
It's not just an American game.
And I think it's a stupid narrative.
Well, since you use the word dominate, though, don't you got to include winning?
Dominate.
Can you dominate without winning?
That's part of it.
I mean,
you can dominate as a
you dominate individually, but then you have to win too. Like,
this is a team sport, though. This is a team sport.
You can't just be kicking ass and then not win. But I could be kicking ass
like Jokic,
individually.
like Jokic.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Right? Exactly. You can't just be kicking ass and then not win. That's part of it. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And because he used the word dominate, that's why I was like, no, it don't fit, because the foreigners aren't winning chips. So that's why I would say they dominate.
Foreigners.
The non-Americans. I don't know what you're going to say. Hey, just because you're in Toronto, you know, taking it personal.
A foreigner created this damn game for y'all. All right, I was about to ask Fluent. 85 non-American. So I'm a dual citizen.
I forgot you're North America. I forgot you're North America.
I was about to ask Fluent. 85, 86 MJ or 2000, 2001 Ori. Yeah, Ori, clearly. Duh. Like, guys, like, you're so dumb. When we say winning and chips are important, you have to have all the other shit first. It's like the cherry on top of the cake. You can't just have a cherry and say, ooh, no, you need the cake first, bro. Like, use your heads, man. You're smarter.
Hey, why is it, hey, Fluid, why is it that when I break down my top 10 list and I say that, no one understands that? They say I had no context, no nothing. But I say that. These guys are in the room. That's why winning is important to me. They all got the accolades to be in the room. They've already done everything to get there already.
Hold on one second, because people just want they don't want to learn. Like, I've learned this when I started this whole Sports Fluent thing. This actually started as me learning stuff about every game, basketball, football, hockey, whatever, baseball, and then like sharing that information to people to teach them stuff. And everybody's like, well, I don't want to know the truth. I want you to prove what I believe. Like, that's why people don't want to listen. But anyways,
I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have the patience for that.
SBC, Adrian Dantley, start bench cut for those that don't know.
Man,
Dantley, Alex English, Bernard King. You don't like
I hate this, man. And the reason why I hate this is because it's not that simple. It's not that, I'm going to start Adrian Dantley, I'm going to cut Bernard King, I'm going to bench Alex English, and I'm going to cut Bernard King, because Bernard King might have been a better one-on-one player or individual player than Alex English, even though Alex English led the decade in scoring. Adrian Dantley, he averaged 30 a game for 6 years, and he took a team to the NBA championship.
So let me ask you this.
It's not that simple.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick then. What's a team right now that's really good defensively that needs a scorer?
Miami.
Did you say Miami?
Yeah.
Okay, so on this Miami Heat squad, if you had to start
Bernard King on that Miami Heat squad, they in the finals.
And then who's on your bench?
If he can stay healthy.
That's a different part. In all three, well, Adrian Dantley a little bit different, because Adrian Dantley played on the block, and Adrian Dantley was kind of something. Adrian Dantley was kind of something like he was a bit of a black hole.
Level score.
Yeah, and he was also a bit of a black hole too. But Alex English was more of a transition player than he was, and he was a good one-on-one player with a money mid-range game. But Bernard King, if I'm looking at Bernard King on that Miami Heat team healthy, just being buckets, yeah, I think that the Miami Heat could definitely be in the NBA Finals with him on the court. You
know what I love? I love that I knock players for being like a black hole, and like I talk about Melo. Ask anybody who's ever played with me. If they pass me the ball, you never seen it back. I'm shooting that some bitch.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
This is a question because I like to learn about stuff like this, back in the 80s and 90s, because I'll be the first to admit I'm not that knowledgeable of, how the narratives going around back in the day. What was kind of like in the 80s, right? What was kind of, some narratives that I kind of forgot that really aren't talked about anymore, just because people, I don't want to say forgotten them, but it's almost like in today's game, the big thing taking over is load management. But in the next, I don't know, it's like just narratives.
Larry Bird wasn't that. He wasn't nice as everybody else, and the only reason why he getting the credit he was getting because he was white, which is not true.
Okay, so that
was not true.
Players never said that.
Yeah, that
never had players say that.
No player.
Players, hell no, they wouldn't even think about saying that about Bird.
Hell no, that was not true.
The only people who were saying that were watching, sitting on their couch, 400 pounds.
Bird ain't really that nice. The only reason why he getting the credit that he getting because he was white. I'm like, you do not watch Larry Bird if you saying that.
Hey, Chill. A few of my good friends played against Larry Bird for a lot of years, especially in college. They were in the Big Ten against him in college. Indiana State played all those Big Ten schools, and they all said, even though they had to play Magic, oh no, Bird's the best player I ever played against.
No, he
A
wasn't.
lot of them said that. A lot of them said that.
Well, nothing to do with
Larry
Bird.
Bird was the real deal, bro. He was the real deal.
You know what the difference was? The difference was with Bird and Magic. Obviously, I'm a Laker fan. I got Magic over Bird, but you can make that argument.
Yeah.
But Bird pissed you off because he would sit there and tell you what he was going to do, and he would do it. He wouldn't do it fast. He wouldn't jump over you.
Yeah.
He'd still do it, and that pisses you off. If someone tells you, "Hey, I'm going to fake right, dribble left, and shoot a rainbow over you," and then goes on and does that, I'm going to punch him in his face. Like that's
And
what.
Bird-
My grandpa, because I live with him. My grandpa is a huge Larry Bird fan. He
I'm going to kill this guy.
But look,
Yeah,
listen.
he's
So Chill. Was Larry Bird given like the Jokic treatment, even though Bird won? But was he given the Jokic treatment, kind of?
Because he won. No, winning was.
I'm talking about as a player. Like, he's just not
from players, or as a fan. I remember
Media, nobody.
As a fan, I remember again being a Lakers fan that it was I hate him because he's so good. Because he's so good. It was always
Jokic is more like he hasn't won.
He hasn't won yet. That's why he's it's for sure. All right. What's this? With LeScooter injured, do you think AD could keep the Lakers at play-in at least?
I mean, he got them in there, didn't he? Or who's LeScooter?
Depends on their schedule. What does that look like?
That's LeBron.
But have you checked out their schedule for the remaining season?
Yeah, they got an easy schedule.
It's easy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's gotten them there, so I don't know why he couldn't keep them there.
Yeah. I think 100%.
The only way, unless if he can't stay healthy, that's the only.
We'll be the 6th seed at least.
Yeah, pace is a dumb argument. Go by field goal attempts. No, go by everything. Pace isn't
go by that either.
You have to go. You got to look at points, field goal attempts. You got to go by pace. Is actually a culmination of those things. It shows you how many possessions they got. So if someone scores 30 in a 90 pace and someone scores 30 in 110, the guy that scored 30 in the 90, that's actually better. Again, there's other things that go in there too, but pace is important. I think everything is important, but that's just me. I got to look at everything. MJ shot over LeBron shots the same as always. Field goal attempts over pace. Okay.
He tried to manipulate. He put the as and always together instead of putting the space there. I saw what he did.
Oh, okay. As always. All right. Cool. Would it be better if the 9th seed had the highest chances of getting the number 1 pick in the draft so that teams are less likely to tank?
No, because you're awarding mediocrity. You're awarding mediocrity at that point.
He's out. It's interesting, but the problem there is then you're getting a team that's already good enough, and you made them better than a team that's 11, 12, 13. So that's no problem.
Hey, think about it. You got what, 3 teams this year? Maybe that you can legitimately say trying to tank. Houston, Spurs, and Detroit.
Maybe
Spurs, Rockets. I mean, I don't think the Pistons.
Yeah, Houston. I mean, that's it. Out of 30 teams.
Coming into the season, I don't even think Detroit was like. I don't think
they tried. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't try to tank coming into the season. It just didn't go well.
Yeah. All right. So quickly, apologies for making you heated. Nah, it didn't make me heated. But that being said, why is Jokic the heavy MVP favorite then when Giannis and Embiid is covering a lot of ground on both ends? He's the heavy favorite, 1, because he's very likable. We've talked about this already. The media likes him. And 2, he is the best player on the best team with phenomenal statistics. And that is typically how they select their MVP. Who's the best player on the best team who also has the number? It's not who's the best player in the league. It's not almost. Half of the time it's not the best player in the league. Sometimes it is, but that's why.
Yes, I wanted to. I'm glad you pointed that out. The MVP isn't a best player in the league award. It's just who wins the MVP. Yeah. Like, for example, I mean, if Jokic wins the MVP, I still have Giannis as the best player in the world.
Yeah, I think we all. Does anyone not have Giannis as the best player?
I got him as the league MVP, actually.
You have him as the MVP too. Okay, so here we go. So for the 2 guys that didn't get to ask a question, I got to go to sleep. So let's go first with Sebastian. Was there something that you wanted to say that we didn't discuss?
No, it's pretty much that the Warriors are
trash. Agreed.
Yeah.
You think they're garbage?
No. I mean, like, they're so inconsistent.
Right.
They got stuff back, and like they came off a 5-game win streak, and now they
Right.
look even worse than when they
Andrew Wiggins been out of the lineup for the last 10 games.
I just wanted to wake up playmaker.
Sheesh. I'm awake, and
All right.
I know what you spoke. I get it. Like I see what your point is. I just think it's too early to rule out 3 incredibly talented players this early. But we'll
Who's the third?
Looney, duh. No,
Wiggins.
just kidding.
Oh, Wiggins.
No,
Okay.
it's
I know it- I know
Steph,
it
Dre,
in-
and Clay.
Dre. All right. P5.
Moody,
Is there
yeah.
anything we didn't discuss?
Fluent. I wanted to ask you what the Raptors, because I'm a Raptor fan. I wanted to ask you what the Raptors should do in the upcoming offseason and in the years to come.
Fire Nick
in
Nurse.
terms of roster construction.
Well, I start by firing Nick Nurse, and that's not because he's not a great coach. He is. He's just not the right coach for this team.
He lost the locker room. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. You got to move on from Fred VanVleet. And you need to make a decision between Siakam and OG. They clearly don't want to coexist. So I think if you make that move, getting rid of VanVleet, bringing in either a distributor at the point guard or like an efficient scorer, right? Like you have Fred VanVleet, who's not a distributor and he's an inefficient scorer. So that can't work. So you need an efficient scorer or a distributor and then move on from OG or Pascal.
Yes, I would move on personally from Pascal, and so Barnes can play his natural position, which is the 4, and keep OG around. And also, what did you think about Fred's comments about the refs?
Mind blowing.
We
Like I said, we discussed it for a while at the beginning of the show. And that's okay. I'll just quickly recap. I think what he said was right, but I think unfortunately what he did was hurt the team and hurt himself because he shouldn't have done it publicly.
Yeah, that was wrong. Okay, Thank you.
Is he suspended or something, or just a fine?
30,000. No, he got fined. It's official. 30,000. No suspension. So he'll be actually. Hold on. When's the game? It's not tonight. It's tomorrow.
He'll be able to go fight for
tomorrow. Play the Raptors. Play the Lakers tomorrow.
Oh, Lakers.
Lakers tomorrow. So that's a loss.
He'll be able to go fight for 18 tomorrow. That's great.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. You're gonna get booted out here, so don't feel offended. Elder, appreciate you, man.
Bye. Thanks, Elder.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you again, man.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good night.
Where are we? I don't even know how to do this.
Elder.
We went a little long. I just want to read this because I read every super chat. If you score 40 in a lower pace game, it's easier to win than scoring 40 in a higher pace game. True, but it's also a lot harder to score 40 in a lower pace game. See how that works both ways? Got to think of it from every angle, not just the narrative you want to spin. Hailey, final thoughts, or Jay?
Go, Jay.
I'm good.
He's good.
Yeah, I'm good. Appreciate y'all in the chat that stuck with us. Go leave any comments of thoughts for next week. We might do a super chat day.
After next week.
Oh yeah, after next week. I keep forgetting.
Flat Earth Dave, 9:30 to 10. See that globe? See that ball back there? That's not the Earth.
All right, come
This
prepared.
is the Earth.
Oh man, I'm excited. I really am.
I'll be so happy.
I'm anxious to learn and get his his perspective. It'll be dope. So
And anyone in the chat, if you know Kyrie Irving, let him know
Yeah.
he is invited. Bring him on. I'll send him the link.
Come through,
See what
Irv.
we can do.
We got you covered, brother.
yeah. But and Fluent, any last thoughts before you wrap it up? All right.
I've talked enough.
All right, Jay.
Take it light, but take it.
Yes, sir.
We gotta get the music back